We're only here for so long. What are you going to
love.
do with your time?
You just got to live, laugh, love.
Exactly.
That's it. That's it. You just got to live, laugh, love. They put it on a piece of reclaimed plywood for a reason.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing my best.
Hi.
Hi.
I haven't seen you in so
no
long.
See.
I know. I haven't seen you in forever. It's been so long.
I know.
What a time.
What a time. Yeah. How are you doing?
Okay.
Yeah.
I was not great this morning. Today's been weird. I don't know if it's because I was like nervous about doing the podcast.
Yeah.
Sorry. But I also just woke up like so heavy, you know? And it's funny, like I don't have any frame of reference for this kind of thing. And I know no one does until like you are there, right?
Yeah.
I've certainly lost people. I've lost people I'm close with. But this has been like wholly surreal. And I think also coupled with just all the circumstances around it and like how fast it was, and that I was like in fucking Sweden, you know, drop my kid off. You know, guys, I'll just back up like a little bit just because I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how anyone does anything, I guess, at this point. I'm not kidding. I really don't know how anyone like just walks around in the world. But I was trying to, I mean, for the, do you know, so.
Oh my gosh.
Am I nailing it? Am I nailing
You're
it,
nailing
Casey?
it.
I'm nailing it. So, I'm not supposed to talk about projects I'm involved in. But the first week of March, I started working, and that was when Birdie fainted and had a seizure.
Right.
I had to be taken to the ER. And then 2 days later, my best friend since I was 14, Kate, her husband called me. And, you know, when she was at and I think I've shared a little bit of this. What?
We had just seen her.
Yes. She was at our show in New Jersey. We had just seen her, and I had asked her if she wanted any wine. And she said no, because her stomach had been hurting her. And the doctors that she'd been going to since November. When was our show? February? She went to doctors for her stomach pains. They told her to eat more fiber. No one ordered a colonoscopy or did an MRI, or they told her to change her diet. She went to another doctor, and they were like, have you tried eliminating dairy? Don't drink alcohol. This is my friend who's been like vegan. Anyway. So Larry called me because they went to the ER because the pain was so bad that Wednesday in March. And she had a massive tumor that they already knew just from the MRI, which, by the way, he had to fight to even get. And she had surgery. They removed half of her colon. And I said a couple times to her, and I said to her husband, and I said to Chrissy, our other friend, I just wish she had gotten a break once, fucking break. But the first surgery had a an issue. So she ended up having to be in the hospital for weeks and weeks and weeks and like have another surgery. It just was an escalation, and the kind of cancer that she had wasn't necessarily colon cancer, presented in the colon. Anyway, it is rare and it's aggressive, and it didn't respond to the chemotherapy at all.
Yeah.
And then they said she was a candidate for this targeted cancer therapy. And I think I talked about that a little bit on the podcast a couple months ago. And she started that in late June. But like she got like an infection in her port at one point. Like she's, you know, she got a blood clot. I don't know. Like it's just like her body, like she just kept having these like when I say she just couldn't get a fucking break, like she just couldn't get a fucking break. And I feel really lucky that I have been so close, and because they live in New Jersey and I've been able to go there. I would have liked to have gone more, but like, you know, it's hard with kids and your life and family. And I remember Bertie and I getting into a fight once about it. And she was like, I'm leaving for school. And I was like, my best friend is really sick, Bert. And she's like, she's not going to die, Mom. And I was like, oh, honey, she might. She might. She could. She did.
Yeah.
So fucking stupid. I hate it so much. I really hate this so much. And I know she would be like, this is busy. Come on, get it the fuck together. But the day we were leaving for Sweden, I was in the bathroom trying to like put together toiletries. 7 bags. Also, I don't know, doing like a 10-day family vacation with your ex-husband and your children. There was a lot happening. There's a lot going on, you know? Yeah. Sorry. I'm really not doing great today. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Grief is very strange. Mm-hmm. It's a strange thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, we had gotten back from, I had flown back, you know, we were in LA for the summer or for most of the summer. And I like had come back to see Kate once. And then it's just funny. Like, I know you feel this way and I know like you had to deal with it. Like there is so much, of just like when something like this, I don't know, happens. And then you're like, oh shit. Yeah. Life does not stop at all. Obviously we know this, you know, but there's also just like, it really doesn't stop. Like, you know, like people are just just really doesn't stop.
I mean, here's one thing that I keep thinking about in terms of you and like in terms of myself too, is just that like it's very interesting when people feel like your period of mourning is over, like when other people feel it for you and are like, you should be able to get to that within like 3 days or something, or, you know, and you're just like, well, I don't know. But then also like for myself, you know, there were times when I did things I probably shouldn't have been doing. Like I literally worked on the day of my dad's funeral, you know, like I had a show. I went to my dad's funeral, drove back to New York City and worked that night. I'm sure I probably could have taken the night off. I know I could have, but it would have been my job to figure out how to cover the night And like, I couldn't do that. Like, I didn't have enough brain space to figure out how to get someone to cover for me. And I just decided at that moment, it's better to just do it myself and like just be a zombie moving through work than trying to like do this new thing where I get someone to cover for me. You know what I mean?
I mean, I fully do. I literally, yes.
Yeah.
I like,
and
yes.
you know, I'm sure you've done it a million times over the past couple of weeks, but yeah, but it is just really interesting. I mean, I don't know. Did I talk about this on the podcast? Like when my mom died, which we talk about a little bit with Bonnie Milligan, our guest too. When my mom died, it was sudden. It was unexpected in a way because she wasn't like quote unquote sick per se. And, you know, the hospital called, the doctor called, and I was like, I literally just tested positive for COVID this morning.
Right.
Like, what can I do? Can I like, you know, I can't get on a plane. And he was like, honestly, there's no rush, you know, like that, like she's gone, she died. And so there's no rush. And he was like, and it's going to be a blizzard here today. So even if you could get on a plane, which you shouldn't, you know, it's bad weather, your plane might not even get here. So there's really like, there's no rush. That's what he kept saying. That being said, the organ and tissue donor bank called me within 40 minutes and I had to do an hour-long quiz about everything about my mom, about like whether she was depressed, whether she was exercised, whether she smoked, whether she took drugs. And I had to say, I don't know so many times. And it just felt like a test that I was failing about how well I knew and loved my mom, that it was so fucked up. It was so
fucking weird.
It was so fucked up. And Matt, like, thank God, was sitting there next to me watching in horror as like an hour after I just found out that my mom died and I've been told there's no rush and you don't have to rush to make any decisions. I did have to rush into some things. I did have to send someone to pick her up and bring her to the tissue donation place because that's what she wanted and I wanted to do her wishes. But like the amount of times I had to say, I don't know, about a question they asked me about my own mom was like, it was weird, you know? And I did have to rush and I couldn't just like turn it over to anyone else. There's no one else, even in my family, that I could share the responsibility with, you know? There was like, it's just me. That's it. And so I know it's weird. And like people getting in touch with you, like they just don't know. Like I said, you know, it was right before Christmas and people kept like, I'd have to call like a credit card company and be like, my mom passed away. I need to shut down her credit card. And they'd be like, oh my God, so sorry. And then they'd be like, Merry Christmas at the end of the call. And I'd just be like, yeah, but it's true. Christmas is fucking in 2 days. Like,
yes,
the world doesn't change and doesn't stop because of what's going on with you. But it's hard because, you know, it's just hard to know when you're having a day where you can go forward and where you're having a day where you have to stand still.
Yeah.
But I've been happy to see you wearing the tiny beret. I feel like in celebration of Kate.
Christine was like, can I just tell you, Kate loved that tiny beret on you so much. She films this video of me. I don't think I didn't ever posted it, but she filmed this video of me wearing the tiny beret where she was like, where I was doing this like bad French accent. And she could not stop laughing. Like, yeah. Like a weird fucking year, you know?
Yeah.
For both of us, you and me. I don't know. There are so many things, you know, there are so many things.
Yeah.
There's so many things to like say and know. And there's so much that's unfair about the world we live in. That continues. That like goes on.
Yeah.
You know, Kate It's like just one of my favorite people of all time.
I know it's hard to talk about. One thing that I texted you, which I don't think you'll mind if I share, is that, you know, if you read Busy's book, you know that like during a really difficult time in your life, when you were young, Kate was there for you during one of the hardest moments of your life, right? And
so that text was so nice. You can continue saying. I was just thinking because I wrote and gave a eulogy at her service.
Yeah.
And I talked about that a little bit. I mean, but wait, just say what you said. Sorry.
No. I was just, what I said to you was that like, it's so hard. It's the worst thing. And what you said is right on. It sucks and it's stupid. There's nothing more eloquent to say about losing someone. It sucks and it's the stupidest thing. It's the stupidest thing that could happen in life. There's nothing wiser or more deep to say about it, in my opinion. But she got to be there for you she was there for you during a really difficult and pivotal moment in your young life. And I am so happy that you got to be there to return the favor and just be there for her and, you know, for her family too, but mostly I'm thinking about her. And just from everything that you've said, like, it just sounds like she was wise and wonderful throughout everything, you know, and it makes sense because she was the kind of kid that was there for you, you know, and when you were a kid and when you needed it. And so it makes sense that.
Yeah, she's always like, but that's the thing. Like, she's always been this fucking person that like I don't even know how to describe it. Like, first of all, the fact that she looks exactly the same in pictures from our teen years until now is so weird. Everybody else looks so different, and she has always looked the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think it's hyperbolic of me to say that like she saved my little life and when I was 15 and like and that her unconditional love of me like taught me how to be a friend and how to be a person that shows up for the people that you love. Because I didn't even think I was like worth that, you know? And here's this like otherworldly person who like just loved me so much, taught me, like, she's like, you know, I like learned how to be I literally learned how to be a person from her.
Yeah.
And how to be a mom. Yeah, and it is, I know, it's the, I'm so grateful that I was there with her in the end. And it was me and her husband who like loves her so much. And like, I said to him, like, I am so sorry that it took this for me to understand what she knew after your first date.
Yeah.
Like, I was always like, really? Okay. But he just has been incredible. It's weird, right? Like, it's just like it's like roller coaster isn't even right, because a roller coaster would like indicate there's some fun or
Right.
like,
Right.
but it's wily. Like grief is just wily. Like,
Yeah.
I remember talk about literally the morning she passed away. And like I said, it was me. I mean, I just said it was me and her husband. And I was like just holding her little hand. And then I was Larry had to go to the kids to go be with their kids, and tell them. And so I stayed with her until the funeral home could come. Just and at some point the nurse came to check in on me, and I was okay because I talked to the rabbi, and the rabbi was like, so you just say this. So this is like important. You say the Psalms. And I was like, okay. So I tried to say them in Hebrew, and my phonetic Hebrew sucks. And then I just was saying them in English, which I think is fine. And then at a certain point I was like, oh my God, I have to do interviews for Baby Bell. Like I literally was like, I guess I got to do those interviews for Baby. And the nurse was like, wait, what are you talking about? And I was like, wait, what am I supposed to do? Like, I literally was like, should I do them? Like, I couldn't figure it out. Like, I was like this brand deal I had, and they were scheduled for that, in an hour or whatever.
Right.
And the nurse, these hospice nurses, by the way, if anyone is listening who is a hospice nurse, has been a hospice nurse, has family that's hospice, like the true angels that walk the earth are these men and women.
Yeah.
Like really beautiful souls. And she just was so gentle with me. And she was like, you're going to need to cancel those interviews. Do you want me to help you? And I was like, no, I have an assistant. I can text her. I can do that. She's like, okay, yeah, why don't you do that? Okay. But like that shit, like you're like, you went to work.
Right.
You're like, I guess I got to do this thing. I can't find somebody else to do it. Like, I don't know. We're all just walking around like broken hearts, Everybody's got something. I know that. And there's been so many like beautiful moments too in these last, 5 months, but in these last couple weeks. And her husband called me today and told me something and that had happened. And I was so grateful for it because I said to you, I woke up this morning and I just felt like shit. And I was just walking back here to do the podcast, and I saw this thing on the written on with chalk on the side of a building that just says "Live Love," which is the joke that we had. I posted this last night on my Instagram stories, but she knew that nothing was working.
Yeah.
They knew that in the beginning of August. And so there wasn't anything else to be done.
Yeah.
And I went to New Jersey the day after they had had the talk with the doctors. And we had the best day. We went to an antique mall. I bought a bunch of handkerchiefs. She bought a table for their new house because, literally they had bought her dream house.
Yeah.
And we had lunch and we were just laughing because she was saying the thing that she'd realized was that it's all just about love and laughing as long as you live. And I was like, so live, laugh, love. And she's like, yes. How fucking stupid is it that it's live, laugh, love? I'm like, I know. crazy. She's like,
Home
really
Goods was
is.
onto something.
Home Goods knew it. Ross Dress for Less knew it. It literally is live, laugh, love. Like,
Yeah.
so I love that, like, I was walking over here and that just randomly appeared on the side of, like, I couldn't miss it. It was like on the side of the building. And it said, you know, and she's like been working so hard since she died to like tell all of us that she's okay in so many ways. Like, it's crazy. Like, the things that have happened to so many people. Like, I mean, it makes me, like I said to Christine at one point, the week that Kate was in hospice and dying, like, this entire process has made me like both simultaneously think there's absolutely no fucking way that there's anything divine in this world because it's so fucking unfair. But also, like, I have to believe that there is.
Yeah.
Like, at the same time, I have to hold both because her little spirit, well, there's nothing little about Kate's spirit ever, but like, it's not gone. It's not done. It's not. I don't know why. Like, I don't know why any of this is.
I always think back to when we had Julia Duffy on and she talked about the death of her son.
I know.
And she talked about how she was still very much his mother and she was still parenting him. She was still mothering him, just in a different way. And I think, like, thank God she said that, you know? I think it's about the smartest thing I've ever heard anyone say about
It's
losing
so
someone.
Fucking brilliant.
Yeah. And so I think she's still your friend, you know?
Yes, I know. I know she is.
And you still love her and you're still going to spend time with her and you're still going to hear from her. And like, I'm not here to say what that is. I'm not here to offer any explanations. Like, I know that people think, some people, just what you said, some people think there's nothing. Some people think there's something. I think that we could never step to understanding. I think it's completely beyond our understanding as human beings, what happens.
I agree. Oh, I fucking agree. 100%.
And so I would never even try to dare to speak to it. But that being said, like, there are still things that are here, you know, her children are here. The great love of her life is here. You are in their lives. And, you know, I would never say it's all for a reason because I hate because what's the reason? What could the reason possibly be?
I know.
I've had friends whose children have died and people have said everything happens for a reason. And I'm like, well,
It's literally the worst thing anyone can say to someone who's grieving. And guys, let's just get rid of it right now. We gotta just get rid of it.
it's, yeah.
You know what? You're allowed to say everything happens for a reason when someone's fired from a job.
Exactly.
Or when someone doesn't get a job that they want.
Exactly.
You can be like, you know what? Everything happens for a reason. You do not get to say that on the loss of a human being that is loved.
Yeah. But what I will say is that I'm so glad that there is left what there is left, you know? And I'm so glad that will continue to be a part of your life as long as you live it, and that you'll be in each other's lives, and that there is reason and meaning for that. You know what I mean? Like that there might be times when like one of her children needs like a maternal figure and like you're the perfect person for that. So I'm so glad, you know, that there is that. But it is just, it's all ridiculously hard and I never thought of anything deep to say about it. It's hard and it's stupid and it sucks.
It's hard and it's stupid and it sucks. And like, I just, it's just been a really strange time, you know? I don't want to like be sucked into a grief ball that like can't get out and then live in the world and do the things that I want to do in the world because I have a bunch of them. But I also am like trying to, I'm trying to figure out what it is that I need to not be that. And like, I think it's partially like, because I just have to grieve a little bit. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
But it's not, it's also, and, you know, there are like a lot of things I think that we all have been grieving anyway.
Right.
And then personally, I know that I've got several things before, before my beautiful Kate girl.
Yeah. I mean, I think, and I'm not an expert, I'm just talking from my own experience. I think it's a lot like being sick, you know? Like you're sick, you come down with like a bug or, you know, whatever, a flu, and it's terrible. And for a couple days, you can't do anything. Or for however long. For 10 days, you can't do anything. And then gradually, you start to be able to like maybe eat a little bit or go out a little bit.
Eating is not my problem. Just, I do want to say this, that there are a couple types of people in this world. Like, I've never been the person where in sadness or grief, I can't eat. In sadness and grief, I want all of the food, all of the time. I want the cookies and the cakes. I want the snacks, the pretzels dipped in peanut butter. I want it all. Give it to me.
Well, there you go. That's good news. That's good news. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you.
Yeah, no.
You know.
This is so funny because literally Jenny Connor called me today. I was eating lunch by myself and we were texting about something and then she just called me and I was like I said to you, not doing great. Yeah. Today's rough day, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, okay, first of all, I want you to consider that like it hasn't even been as much time. Like if you had gotten COVID, like you would still be feeling the effect of COVID. You probably wouldn't even be out in public. Like, she's like, so just like a little bit, you have to. And I think that for me, you know, that part. Yeah. It's hard for me to it is hard for me to like slow it down, you know.
Well, I don't think it's unique to you either. I just think that particularly in this country, we just expect everything to keep like churning on, and it does. And I think that's right, you know, whether it's with or without us, and like then we rejoin when we can. But like being sick, I think the point that I was trying to make about like being sick, like Jenny was saying, like COVID, you know how many times after COVID you were probably like, well, I think I'm going to put in a load of laundry. And like maybe midway you got winded, you know, picking up dirty clothes and trying to go to the washing machine. This is like what I'm saying about grief. Like you can try. You know what I mean? Like you can try to do whatever it is every day that you think you should be about ready to do. You can try, but there's no guarantee that you're gonna be able to like make it through or to accomplish it. And you just have to give yourself some grace when you try and you're not able to fully accomplish something in the way that you hoped that you would when you started out. It's like being an athlete who's injured. Same thing, you know? They try and sometimes they're not ready. They're not healed. I think that being said, like if you can't try anything at all, then which I've seen some people feel like that, like they can't try anything at all. They can't even, then I think that's a different thing that maybe like requires a little extra help. Like that would be more worrisome to me if someone couldn't try to eat or put in a load of laundry or talk on the phone or, that would worry me a little bit.
Yeah. And also it's like there's back to school stuff now. And I had to go to the back to school morning for Cricket's grade. And I just was like, I literally felt like a crazy person,
Yeah.
Yeah. How was your summer? Oh my God, amazing. Was that great? Was that so good? Oh yeah, that's beautiful. I want to go there. Oh, cool. Yeah, where is that camp? Amazing. Yeah, Cricket's not ready for camp yet, although we have seen the movie theater camp 3 times. I know. Okay. Yeah, no, it's good to see you. It's so good to see you. You look amazing.
I know. Well, thank goodness you're an actress.
We all are, baby.
That is so true. I know. It's hard. It's fucking hard.
It's fucking hard.
I am so sorry. And I feel like, I don't know. There's nothing smart to say about it. There just isn't.
No. Here's what I do want to say. And I mean, this is like for real. Kate and I fully outlined our movie about our senior trip, like our high school trip to Europe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this summer.
I love that.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Now I have to write it.
Now you have to write it. You have to do it.
I know.
For Kate.
Well, it would be for all of us, but it will be so fun.
Yeah.
Guys, don't worry. I'll give her credit.
I just mean that's more motivating than anything
I totally, 100%. Guys, you know our next partner. You know our next partner because we love them. They have a product Casey and I use almost every day. What product is that?
Day.
Answer the question for us right now. Go. Did you say Athletic Greens? Yes, you're right. You're
That's
right.
The correct answer.
You won because we know, and you know, with one delicious scoop of Athletic Greens, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. It's a very special blend of ingredients, and it supports all kinds of things like your gut health, nervous system, immune system, energy, recovery, focus, and aging. Literally
Everything.
all of the things.
Yeah.
All of the things.
I personally love Athletic Greens because it's simple. I need it to be simple. I don't have time to open a million supplement bottles and choke down 1,000 pills.
I've tried. And no one can do it. I'm telling you, if I can't do it, no one can do it.
Yeah. Who has the time or the will?
Or the money.
One scoop of Athletic Greens in a cup of water. You can put it in a smoothie if you want, but you don't need to. It tastes delicious.
Tastes really
on
good.
Its own. Yeah.
Also, when talking about the price, it's less than $3 a day, honestly.
Yeah, less than you spend on a takeout coffee.
For all-in-one nutritional insurance, Athletic Greens has over 7,000 5-star reviews. And it's just one small micro habit that has very big benefits. It's one thing you can do every single day. And you can be like, I'm taking good care of myself. Guys, we love it. We love Athletic Greens. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition, especially because, listen, those bugs are out there. It's just one scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills or supplements to look out for your health. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/busy. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/busy to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Oh, sweet little kid, we love you so much.
I love that jingle.
I know. I thought it was new. It was just something new. Sweet little kid, give me that hair care.
Well, Well, we love Kitsch.
We love Kitsch. I've loved Kitsch forever. I am not just, they are not just a sponsor. I am also a purchaser. I'm a customer.
Yes.
I love it because whatever your budget, your skin type or your hair type, Kitsch believes you deserve little indulgences at affordable prices. I love that it was started in 2010 by selling hair ties door to door. That's just the greatest thing I've ever heard.
It's the greatest story. And now there's like a full complement of products, hair ties, pillowcases.
Satin pillowcases.
So that
Listen,
your
let me
hair's
tell you
not all
something.
tangly mess.
If you have a kid that gets a lot of knots in their hair,
Yeah.
the Kitsch satin pillowcases will change your life.
Yeah. I'm sure a few went to Sweden, correct?
Yes, 100%. Correct. Exactly.
Yeah. I love the exfoliating mitts that Kitsch sells. Like, I cannot even describe to you how well they work.
I kind of literally love everything that they sell.
Yeah.
Truly.
And it's all so reasonably priced.
Yes. And their latest viral craze is the white rice water shampoo bars, which
yes.
are so cool.
Yes.
And they say can improve your overall hair growth and density. And people are saying they're never going to use bottle shampoo again and that it's like incredible. I really
That's
wanna try
amazing.
it. I need to try it.
Yeah, me too.
I need to try it. Plus, you know what they have now for a limited time? They have the Barbie by Kitsch collection. Come on.
Oh my gosh.
I got to get that for Birdie. That's a good thing that I need to get for Birdie. Okay. So right now, Kitsch is offering you 30% off your entire order at mykitsch.com/best. That's right. 30% off anything and everything at mykitsch. It's kitsch.com/best. One more time, mykitsch.com/best for 30% off your order. I just fucking miss her stupid voice. And
Yeah.
I mean, I hear it so clearly. And
Yeah.
like her friends, they have such an incredible community of friends where they live in New Jersey. And like her friends were like, you guys talk a lot. Do you guys know that you talk? Do you know that you sometimes sound just like her? And I was like, do you understand that I've been stealing her voice my entire life? Like I have literally been stealing from her my whole life. Like, you know, because I like love her so much. And like, you know how you are when you're.
Yeah. You think someone's cool and you want to be like them. And yes, of course.
But I can sound exactly like her because I know, because I hear her voice in my head so clearly.
Yeah.
And I know this has been all over the place, but just the day before we left we had that wonderful day together.
Yeah.
And then basically like 4 days later when I was getting ready and we were leaving for Sweden, Mark came into the bathroom and was like, where's your phone? And I was like, I don't fucking know, dude. I'm trying to get my shampoo in order.
Right.
And he was like, Christine just called me. You need to call Larry right now. And they had like, they were going to the hospital and he was just like, it's busy. Like it actually ended up, you know, it was like one of those things where they thought, whatever, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I called her and she wasn't like she was on like the level of morphine she had been on at home.
Yeah.
And the night before we left for Sweden, we FaceTimed and she was doing pretty well. And like, she talked to Birdie and it was really sweet. And she was just like, I told your mom, I'm like, so cool. And if you go for one day, great. If you go for a week, great. If this ends up being where you spend all of high school, amazing. Just have the best experience. Just enjoy it. Know it's an adventure. I'm so proud of you. Like it was like it was so great. And so meant so much to Birdie. And also like just I don't know, just like, it was like the perfect thing to say to her too,
Yeah.
Birdie.
Yeah.
Cause I know she was feeling like a lot of pressure. Like, oh God, I'm telling people I'm going there for all of high school, but like, eek,
Right. Who knows?
I hate it. But anyway, that next night or even or whatever, before I went to the airport, and Larry was like, call her right now. Cause she's like being admitted, but she has her phone with her. So we ended up like talking and like, you know, that's the thing. And our guest today, Bonnie Milligan, we did the interview before we started this podcast. Cause I said to Casey, we were texting this week and I was like, I just don't know about like us starting the podcast and then having like an interview with someone that we don't really know in the middle of it. Cause I'm obviously going to talk about what has happened. But Bonnie brought up the loss of her father to pancreatic cancer as a part of literally like her journey in this incredible show that she's in. And she mentions at one point saying like, she's like the thing, you know, maybe I didn't say goodbye as much as like Christine and I talked about this. I know Larry, Kate's husband, feels the same. And I really do too. Like there was nothing left unsaid. Like there was nothing. There was no, like we said all of the things. Like I even said the fucking weird shit to her. Like, okay, so you're going to need to find Jenna, my friend. Right. She'll help you. She'll like tell you where you're going and what to do. Yeah. And like, if you need any help, find her. Like, that's a weird thing to say. Like, but I truly meant it. I was just like, I know that like my light team is there. Yeah. And that like, I was like, promise me you'll like come and find me when in my meditations and energy healing and in my dreams and stuff. And she's like, I promise you, of course I will.
I love that.
Me too. It was really special.
Yeah. But you can also not say goodbye enough. Wait, do you know about this? Do you know about this woman on TikTok that she does the TikToks where she's like the receptionist in heaven? Have you ever
I love her. Of course.
I love her so much.
I'm not, but I'm just like, wait, are you like on TikTok, Casey? Or are you just like all of us, the people our age, where it's just like people posting on Instagram?
Yes, I just see it on Instagram. I mean, I have a TikTok account, but I never post anything. But my friend Kristen Bartlett is like my TikTok curator. She sends me all the TikToks I need to know about.
Wait, you just said curator, like curator, like curator.
Curator, yeah.
I say curator.
Uh-huh.
But it reminded me of Chani Nichols.
Yes.
She says innovative. Wait.
Innovative?
She says innovative. Like innovative. Anyway, I like both of those pronunciations. Maybe
I think
more
I was just doing an exaggerated British. I think that's how English people say curator. But yeah. So anyway, but her videos, if you haven't seen them, they're strangely touching. They're very funny, and it's like a little bit that she's doing, like these little comedy skits where she's like the receptionist in heaven, and she's like kind of tough, but she's very kind to everyone that she's welcoming to heaven.
You guys have seen it. You guys have seen
it. But she's done ones that like people have asked her to personalize them. Like, can you please welcome my sister to heaven or whatever. And they're so weirdly touching and like therapeutic. I don't know. So anyway, it's beyond all of us, you know, it's beyond all of us. And that's what I believe. I believe that whatever Kate is doing, it's beyond our understanding.
Yeah.
But
I think you literally only get to know when it's your turn to know.
Yeah.
And probably not before then.
Yeah. But that you'll always be friends and that you'll always have her friendship. You will always be actively being her friend.
I know that.
But I think this is going to be hard for you because I know how uncomfortable you can be, like sitting with feelings that are hard and that you like to busy yourself to distract.
I don't even have a fucking boyfriend. I'm not even getting fucked. Like, I can't, like, you know what I mean? I'm like, what? Like,
well, maybe she'll do you a solid from wherever she is and send someone your way. But what I'm saying is, even if you had a boyfriend, it wouldn't matter because the uncomfortableness of someone leaving here it's impenetrable and it's not possible to be distracted from it. So that's why I think this is going to be a little bit of a hard one for you because you can't like just go to work and think about something else for a while. It's really hard. It's just going to be there, you know. You'll think of it fucking 20 years from now, you know, as you do with other people that I'm sure you ruminate on other people that you've lost. You know, I realized, like, I don't even know how this happened, but like I posted on social media when my mom died, because that is like in this modern age, it's the most effective way to let people know, like people that knew her, but also like people that know me, like here's where I am and here's what I'm going through. What I didn't realize is that, like, I don't even know how I did it, like, but I made, like, some reel of my mom or whatever, and so it's just there. Like, Instagram keeps congratulating me on how many people have viewed that reel.
I can't. Wait,
and
Casey,
it's a video of my mom, my mom talking, and I can't, like, get off it fast enough sometimes, and then other times I sit and watch the whole thing, you know? And then also every single person that sent me a DM saying like, I'm sorry for your loss or whatever they said, like kind words that they said, like the next time that they message me about anything, that video of my mom is like the thing that's like right there above it. So I see it so much because like thousands of people DM'd me. And so, you know, over time, they're eventually going to DM me about me, like, you know, making fun of some pants that I saw advertised to me online. And then the thing right above it is my mom, you know. So it's like, I never considered
you're making me grateful that I didn't do a reel.
Yes, right.
Oh my
I never
God, Casey.
considered that would be like not the fallout, but like, you know, just the after trails.
You're gonna fucking hate me.
What? Did you forget to record?
Yes.
It's okay.
I just pressed it. Jesus
it's
fucking
okay.
Christ.
It's all right.
You guys, I'm so sorry. Maybe it's better not to hear my crying in stereo.
Oh my goodness.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I was so stupid. I was so fucking stupid. It's just that because I pressed stop because Birdie needed to FaceTime with me and I just didn't want to I didn't want to record the FaceTime with her because it just doesn't.
It's okay. It's literally not the end of the world. And it's not anything to feel stupid about.
Yeah, I know. I just wish, you know.
We're rusty.
I don't even know what I'm doing.
We're rusty and cloudy and,
I'm so cloudy. I'm just a little black rain cloud. Do you know that from Winnie the Pooh?
I don't know that
over
one.
the honey tree. I'm just a little black rain cloud. Pay no attention to little me.
Oh my gosh.
Everyone knows that a rain cloud doesn't eat honey. No, not a drip. I'm just floating around over the ground, wondering where I will drip drip, or drip, drip. No, not a sip, and then it's drip. Yeah, maybe.
Oh my gosh. Winnie.
Meanwhile, I'm not obviously, in case you guys are wondering, I'm not posting anything online from Birdie's school or publicly, or really not. I don't know. Just being, she doesn't, it's not, I don't think we need to, I don't think it's, I don't know. I'm excited for her to have this experience, and she's so far been, I think, mostly enjoying it. So it's all good.
That's good.
Just like, great.
That must be a good feeling.
Yeah. And like Mark chatted with her the other day and just called me after and was like busy, like she's killing it on the schoolwork. I do wonder, like, here's what I'm going to say. Obviously, I grew up with ADHD, and I think we can all agree here, guys, that I'm fairly bright. But I do, school was really hard, challenging for me, and I really lacked the ability, like the executive functioning skills to like keep my shit straight and like blah, 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 blah. I didn't really have a routine ever. And the thing that I was always sort of obviously best at was like going to play practice and like memorizing stuff for plays. And the times when like, if my grades were in question, when I really stepped it up was like, because I was threatened that I wouldn't be able to do the plays if my grades fell,
Right.
But other than that, I didn't really have a lot of structure in terms of like after school or doing homework, or, both my parents worked, and I don't know, like, it was that era of time where, and my thing is like my point is about Birdie is that Birdie and I share a lot of similar traits, in terms of our, like neurodivergentness, like the ways in which we are.
Yeah.
And I'm not, this house, this world, in my world, I'm not able to provide structure in the way that like, I think it is maybe possibly really helpful for her. Like in terms of doing school and being, everything is so structured at boarding school. It's like, you do this, and then you go to this class, and then you go to this place, and then you go to this place, and then you go here for lunch. And then they have like mandatory study hours in which they have a tutor that lives in their house with them. It's like things are like set up to help them succeed,
Yeah. And there's expectations.
Academically. And there are expectations. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's also a really interesting point, because in my household growing up, and then also in my household period currently, like I never really had any academic expectations put on me, or I have put on my kids, because I'm a little bit like shrug emoji. I don't know.
Right.
I don't fucking know.
Right. Yeah.
But
it's hard.
Like, it is hard. I'm curious to see though, like how this type of really structured environment works in Birdie's favor, or works, if there's a point where she's like, I can't do this anymore. It's too structured. But so far so okay. So good.
That's great. It sounds great. Knock on wood.
Knock wood. And like also the other kids have been really, like, were really great. It's been that part. I was laughing at one point because I was like, when people are like, God gives you what you can handle. I was like, God really heard me on this one. You really heard me on this one. And he was like, I got it. Don't worry about it. I got you covered. We're going to make this. Hopefully, we had one thing that was tough a couple days ago. I don't even know what time is anymore. But it would have been tough no matter what. It was like movies were happening and the boys' dorm like commandeered it and they were watching Paranormal Activity. And Birdie is like me, cannot watch a scary movie.
So what happened?
She got really upset and the boys were saying they were going to like freak her out and like knock on her window at night and stuff. And she was just getting really upset about it. But I don't know. They worked it out. It's fine.
Kids are kids, no matter where in the world they are.
I know. So true. So true.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. How's everyone in the house? How's Cricket, like, as an only child right now?
Living her best life. I'm not kidding.
I
literally like did a dance the other day when someone asked her. I was like, Cricket, be cool a little bit. Take it down a notch.
Well, I mean, can you imagine? Like, you're the younger kid and, you know.
I can't. I can't imagine.
It just changes and you get all the attention. And I mean, that's the dream. That's living the dream.
Yeah. It really is for her. Like I told you, like she's seen that movie Theater Camp like 3 times.
Oh my gosh.
Once she got me to take her to see
Amazing.
it. I saw it's great, by the way.
Our old friend Mary Bundy from Busy Tonight worked on it.
You know what I was gonna say? We should they can't promote it. No one can promote it. It sucks. But it was like an indie movie and they were like kids that, I don't know, it was so cute that they made it. Anyway, the movie's really great, guys. Highly recommend. Family friendly, like, and enjoyable for adults.
Oh, great.
But then she got Mark to take her to see it too. Like she's good. She starts school. We had like the parent morning this morning and then she starts school tomorrow. I think she's going to be real tired the next couple days.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Mark's been very generous. Mark's been really generous to me and really supportive and really nice.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would expect that of him.
Yeah. I would, and got to see Flacco. Christine was here. Christine obviously came out, back out. Christine actually was able to come here the week that I was in Sweden. Like, she called me and was like, I don't know what to do. Should I come there? I don't know what to do. And Mark said the greatest thing, which was like, no one has ever regretted showing up.
Right.
So she came like literally the day after I left for Sweden. Christine was here for like 5 days.
Oh, good.
And then I got home from Sweden and then drove directly to New Jersey to the hospice place.
Yeah.
And Christine had left. And then so she came back. And that was really, really helpful and like really good. To be with her. And we had like a really good time together. Sounds weird. But we had like...
sounds weird, but like what else are you supposed to say? It was like...
I don't know.
It was like a healing time, maybe too soon for that.
Because I think...
It was just
and also
important.
like... It is important. And also like Jen has been really wonderful too. And like all my friends have been great. But like Jen and I have, hung out a couple times. Like I've been feeling up to it. And I'm like, can I interest you in seeing some photos of my friend? And she's like, yes. Yeah, I mean, it's just weird. It's all weird. Oh, and Jenny Connor was in town for a second, and I saw her. I just remember that. It's like,
that's so good. Yeah, I know.
It's weird. It's definitely weird. The last couple of weeks have been very blurry. Yeah. But, then I'm like thinking now it's September, and it's like work is a thing that we do.
Yeah. You know what I think is like, as you're talking about this, I've been thinking about how in many cultures, there are so many like rituals surrounding death, and we don't really have like in a way it was good. My mom died. I did whatever I want. We had a whale watch funeral. Great. And it was like, we made that up. Like, you know, but I'm just thinking about how like, and I'm probably saying this improperly, but like in the Jewish faith, like when people sit Shiva and, and how that's like they're having, what's the word for it? Is it a good time? They're like, I don't know if that's the right word for it, but then when the period, like the set period of mourning is over, and I don't think that means that people individually stop mourning. It's just that there's rules and customs. Like everybody goes out and like walks around the block. They walk around the block to like re-enter, It's interesting that like, I wish I had some of those like rules, but I don't know. I don't really have a faith. And so I was like going into it without any sort of rules or whatever. But I don't know that. I'm curious how helpful it is, or to people, like if they find that helpful, like any kind of cues or whatever, if that would be
I think
helpful.
sitting Shiva is helpful for a lot of people. But part of it too is talking about the person, sharing stories, and also that like for those days the bereaved don't do anything.
Right.
You don't work. You don't.
Right.
You're not even supposed to answer the door.
Right.
Everyone is supposed to like just come, and like if you are hungry, someone is making you food. Like someone else is doing the dishes. Like you are taken care of,
Yeah.
And I think it's a really beautiful show of support. And like, I think it feels good. And I think it does feel good when you've lost someone, I think for Christine and I, we were talking about it, like for us sort of because we really only went to Shiva the first day, the day of the service, because Shiva starts directly after the service.
Yeah.
And I think that for me and Christine, like our version of it was like sort of staying in Casa Kismet together.
Yeah.
For like, I think she was here for like 3 days after.
Yeah.
And I just, we were going through like all my photos, and one of Kate's like boyfriends, like her boyfriend from college, like sent, like DM'd both of us and sent us a bunch of pictures, and we were going through them.
Yeah.
That was crazy. Those were crazy because those are like think about that. Like your fucking high school or college boyfriend that you don't talk to, they have pictures of you.
Right.
Think about it.
Right.
I didn't even think about that. Like, but we just got all of these like incredible pictures that I sent that we were able to like pass along to her family and stuff. And
yeah,
like her daughter too. Like, so Larry had has 2 girls from his first marriage. But Kate, we were like really young.
Yeah.
We were like 20, I think we were 22 or she was 23 when she started dating Larry. And he was like, and now I'm like, we're the same age. But at the time he seemed so old because he was like 34 or something. I don't know.
He was
but
like a grown man. Yeah.
He was a grown man. He was divorced and he had like 2 small daughters.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, really? This is the future for you? Okay. But it truly was. And so she was like essentially a mom to these little girls because they had complete shared custody.
Right.
For their whole lives. And then she had their older son like not long after they got married. So their older son is so sweet and his friends were so sweet. Everybody, like their community is so beautiful and also just like speaks to who Kate is, was, always has been. Like, of course, like the greatest people around them.
Yeah.
But Larry's older daughter, Larry and Kate's daughter, like lives in the city, like lives in New York. And so I've been seeing her a little bit, like hung out with her, and her birthday's coming up like the end of September, and I'm going to take her to a concert that we had talked about. Like, it's nice. Like I've known her since she was literally like 8 years old or something. I met her.
Yeah.
She's an adult, guys. It's like, it wouldn't be rare. Like if you saw us hanging out, you'd be like, oh, it's friends that are hanging out. You wouldn't think that I'm her stepmom's friend. But anyway, I don't know. Like, it's just that stuff has been the most healing stuff to me is like, and I don't know if you felt this way on the whale watch, because I think hearing other people's memories is, I don't know, it's so vital. Like, that's the part that I think helps with the grieving process. And like Christine and I just like crying and then laughing and then,
Yeah, because I think it tells you, when you hear other people's memories, I think it tells you like just how full that person's life was in a way that you weren't aware of, maybe, because you just think of a person like selfishly, like they're your person, but you don't think of like what they mean to so many other people. And so then you also get a better picture of like how loved they were. And that like not the burden, that's the responsibility. Is that like a better word? Or like the job of loving someone isn't just your job alone, and it's wonderful to know that someone that gave so much love was loved by so many people, like so many people were doing that job, And so that's wonderful to hear. And sometimes you learn something about someone that you just had no clue about because it just wasn't on your radar. It just wasn't part of your relationship with them. And I think that's really interesting too, Yeah.
Yeah. I know. But it did feel like a little bit like that process, or like those few days with Christine, and we were like just sort of like in this apartment, like cocooning.
Just holed up. Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah.
We would go get food. We walked like, I don't even know. One day I literally think we walked like 26 miles, I think.
Oh my gosh.
One day.
A marathon length. Yeah.
We like walked all over Manhattan. Like we walked so far. And she was like, because it was on her little steps counter. It was like a stupid amount of steps.
Oh my gosh.
All the way down, all the way up. And all over Central Park. And we found the owl.
Oh.
We found the little Flacco.
Is that his name, Flacco?
Yeah, that's his name.
I'm glad you saw the owl.
I know.
He's your favorite. He's a celebrity to you.
He is. He really is. And he was so cute. He was really... All the animals were giving us like major Snow White vibes. Like they were just coming out and greeting us and like tipping their hats. And
yeah.
Truly, it was very incredible.
If you think about it, if you think about like, well, what you were saying, like you're not sure what you believe, if there's anything or if there's something, and, you know, and so like by extension, like seeing something like that could make you believe that there's something or,
Yes.
you know, but also even if that's what life is, like seeing beautiful animals coming out to greet you on a lucky day, like even if that's what
All
there is,
right?
if that's it, that's pretty fucking great.
It's pretty fucking great. I know. I also just like, I won't give up like a world that has magic in it.
Yeah.
You know, I can't.
Yeah.
And miracles and magic and maybe the miracle is just that we even got Kate at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for as long as we did, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I hope that whatever there is, I hope that she knows what a huge impact she had on your life and a bunch of lives, you know? I think she must have known that.
I actually
sounds
am
like
going to
you-
say I don't know if she did before she got sick.
Really?
Mhm.
Yeah. I feel like you all did your due diligence in making that clear as, you know, as she went through this really difficult process. And you guys were all there with her.
I mean, the thing is, Jesus, like I so understand like why the saying is fuck cancer.
Yeah.
But can I tell you this thing? Like we did like an energy healing thing together on Zoom with Val.
Yeah.
And it was really beautiful. And afterwards, Kate said this thing that was like so fucking profound, which was to me. Maybe it's not to you guys. I don't fucking know. I can't be the judge. I can't be responsible for your feelings about this, guys. But in regards to the cancer, which she was like everybody says like fuck cancer and da 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 da. And she's like, I just feel like so much compassion for it. Because it came from me. It is me. It's my cells. And
Wow.
I just want to send it so much love. Because also, like, as it's killing me, it's going to die. And I just feel bad for it. And I feel so much like compassion. And I was just trying to send it as much love as possible.
Wow.
I know.
Yeah.
She's like, how could I hate it? It came from my cells. It's my DNA. I've like never thought about it like that before, obviously.
Right.
I've never even heard anyone say that before.
I was going to say, I don't think many people probably have, but, and also, I mean, not trying to like paint a silver lining or anything, but also what a sickness like that does is it really clarifies, you know what I mean? Like if she ever wondered how much she was loved in this world.
Oh my God.
There was an opportunity. Everyone who needed to tell her had that opportunity. So, you know, it's the worst, right? But I am so glad that she was here long enough to just hear from the people that she meant everything to. Yeah.
I know. Okay, guys. Listen.
Well, I mean, yeah, you've really put yourself through the ringer here. Should we talk to our guest?
Who's delightful and so sweet. And like, you didn't know that, did you? Did you have any idea that she was?
I did know that she had lost her father and also that they had lost a really important team member on the show.
I didn't know that.
Their choreographer
God.
before they went to Broadway, because I had heard her talk about it. She's so lovely. You guys, Bonnie Milligan is one of the
Incredible.
stars of Kimberly Akimbo on Broadway. She recently won a Tony for her role because she's outstanding. She's also kind of like a body positivity. I don't know. What do you say? She's not like, she's just got shit to say about body positivity that I think is really
She's a voice in the
amazing.
body pause movement.
Yes. And so anyway, I hope you enjoy our talk with the lovely Bonnie Milligan.
And talented. Oh, Smalls. Oh, Smalls, we love you, Smalls. I have to say, the kitties have been loving their Smalls food.
That makes me happy. They deserve it.
They do deserve it. They're good cats. They are good cats.
And also,
listen,
it's kind of a treat for you, too, because cat food is smelly. Traditional cat food is kind of gross.
It can leave a lot to be desired. I'm not gonna lie. But you guys, you need to update your cat food with Smalls. Smalls cat food is protein-packed recipes. It's made with preservative-free ingredients, and it's delivered right to your door. Our cats, I'm just going to say it, the litter box has been smelling better. The cats have been smelling great.
And their fur was so shiny the last time I saw them.
They are looking good. They are looking good. Plus, I love that it was started in 2017 by just a couple guys home cooking cat food in small batches for their friends. Come on.
I love those guys. Those are good guys.
Those are good guys. They're like, guys, I have the answer. Let me cook your cat some food. It's really, really sweet. And that is like exactly why Smalls is so good.
Right.
After making the switch to Smalls, 78% of cat owners reported their cats had shinier and softer fur. I would say that is true of my kitties.
Yeah.
And 90% reported overall health improvements, also true. That is a big deal. And the team at Smalls is so confident that your cat is going to love their product that you can try it risk-free. They will refund you if your cat won't eat their food. And I know, sometimes cats just have a mind of their own. I get it. Anyway, higher quality ingredients mean a healthier and happier life for your kitten. So head to smalls.com/best and use promo code BEST at the checkout for 50% off your first order. 50% off your first order plus
Amazing.
Free shipping. That is the best offer you're going to find. But you have to use our code BEST for 50% off your first order. One last time, that's promo code BEST for 50% off your first order plus free shipping. Smalls.com/best.
Hungry Root.
Hungry Root. Hungry Root. It's that time, guys. We're going back to school. We are going back to school. You got to plan meals for your kids.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm sorry. That's what it is.
They're on their own for the summer, but when back to school.
Well, everyone's kind of on their own. You're on vacation. You're eating different places.
Yeah, you're eating.
at friends'
It's
houses.
not girl dinner. It's child dinner.
You're at
during
camp.
Summer. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's all kinds of things that are happening. Now we're back. We got to do a
back
bunch
in
of
the swing.
things.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. You don't have to stress about going to the grocery store because Hungry Root will fill your fridge with healthy food and simple recipes so you can do all of the other things that you have to do. Some of which you enjoy, some of which you might not. But regardless,
But you got to do it.
you got to do it. So Hungry Root is like, ma'am, let me step in here.
You know why I love Hungry Root? Because like I've done other meal kits. They're complicated. And I find myself like asking, why am I even doing this? I could have just like looked up a recipe, bought everything from scratch, and because that's how much work it is. Hungry Roots recipes are so easy. They are able to be prepared so quickly, and they're really, really delicious. And I feel like it actually saves me time while also not costing $1 billion. So it's like adding something to my life, you know?
Right. But it's also like, I don't love those things where you're like, you get the thing and then it's like, you get this like tiny little container of some spice that you're only using for that recipe. Like, what I enjoy about Hungry Root is that they send you the groceries. They also are like, look, here are all these recipes, all the stuff you have, you can use in this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, just like, but also you don't have to. You could make your own thing. Like you don't have. I guess that's where I feel like it so differs and is so much better. You know what I mean?
It's very flexible. It has the answers for you when you have decision fatigue, but also if you're game to just get in the kitchen and bang something out, then they make sure you're fully supplied.
Exactly. Because you pick fresh produce, high quality meat, seafood, pantry staples, healthy snacks, and even like sweets and cookies. You know, I love that stuff.
Yes.
They even have some seasonal fall favorites, guys. Anyway, I'm just saying, spend less time shopping and cooking, more time enjoying healthy food that you're actually going to love with Hungry Root. And right now, Hungry Root is offering our listeners 30% off your first delivery and free veggies for life. Come on. Just go to hungryroot.com/busy to get 30% off your first delivery and get your free veggies. That's hungryroot.com/busy. Don't forget to use our link so they know that we sent you. Hi, Bonnie. You're so fabulous in that fucking show.
Thank you.
We're jumping right in, Bonnie, because
I love it. Why not?
Someone's doing construction above me or below me. I can't tell. The girl across the way has her blinds open for the first time in a long time.
Is she nude?
Excited about that. No, she's just working on her computer. She has. Okay, wait, Bonnie, can I tell you something?
It sounded very scandalous. I was like, what's she up to?
Well, I don't know, because she always has the curtains pulled down. But Bonnie, this is the weird thing. That used to be my apartment and I moved to this apartment, and I always had my shades up because, you know, look in, enjoy. But they always have them down. And so I haven't really had a chance to see their movements, but she has her computer where I had my computer, and she's sitting there working. So I don't know why I'm whispering. She can't hear me.
You don't know. Maybe she don't know. She's got them blinds up.
Guys, we are joined today. We will do like a proper introduction, Bonnie, just so you know, but it's already starting. Are you okay with that?
I'm so okay with it.
I know. I figured you were, because theater.
Yeah. I mean, we're a yes and kind of crowd. Yeah.
You really are. We're joined today by the incredible Bonnie Milligan, who is starring in Kimberly Akimbo on Broadway.
For which?
I was going to say, did you won, I believe you won a few major awards for your performance.
Some fun ones. What's that name again? The Tony Award?
What's the big one?
Antoinette? Yes.
Antoinette, yes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That was, it was very exciting for me, so I can only imagine it was exciting for you.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was pretty great.
Your speech was so great. How planned was that? Because it seemed very spontaneous.
Did you think you were going to win?
I hoped. But I know everybody in my category, and we're like, of course, friends, and they're all very good. So honestly, I was like, this could go any way. I did warn my mother, if I don't win, you have to fix your face because the camera will be on you. And I was very worried.
Yeah, I don't know about if my mom would be able to pull that off.
You know, bless her. And
we didn't have to find out about your mom. Turns out
we didn't have to find out. She just got to like happy cry. So I wrote I feel like it was the night before or maybe the day of, I just brought out like index cards, and I was like, I should write like bullet points in case, because I think I said it at the beginning, I'll probably emotionally black out. And I absolutely did. Like, I don't remember my speech. So I just like wrote out things that I'm like, I want to be able to say this. And then all I knew is I want to say something at the end before I run out of time to people out there who might look like me or people that don't look like, you know, what society says you should look like to win awards. And so I didn't word for word plan that. That's just very spontaneously came out. And I just had bullet points on a little list. So that's how planned it was.
It was so good. And what you said is a really big deal to me. I know it's a really big deal to a lot of people, but basically you just said, yeah, if you've ever thought that you didn't look right, you do look right, basically.
Yeah.
And so, I thought that was really wonderful. So thank you for that. And what's it been like going back to work, doing the show as a Tony winner?
I mean, it's crazy the way that I'll just walk down the street and like strangers will be like, congrats on your Tony. And I'm like, oh, like whether I'm in the theater district or not, like
New Yorkers know that shit.
They really do. Yesterday I was up on the Upper West Side. I was just walking to a movie. My brother's in town and we were like, so far away. We saw Oppenheimer. Haven't seen it yet. So
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it.
We saw it but somebody was like, hey, you're so great. I'm so happy for your Tony. And I was like, oh, like, so that's kind of wild.
I love that.
The first show post Tony win was really crazy.
Yeah.
And, like, a concert, which was awesome.
I'm sure people were just like, I'm sure you had to like stop when you came on stage for the like 10-minute standing ovation you got, right?
It was
surreal?
Ovation, entrance applause, and that was surreal. And because I'm looking downstage center, but I can absolutely see all this in my periphery. So I'm like taking it in, but you don't want to take it in too much because I'll just start like crying on my entrance, which doesn't quite work. So you're just like being the story, but oh my gosh, this is so cool. It was awesome. It was really cool.
Oh, I love it. Tell everybody, do you mind telling the audience, because Kimberly Akimbo is such a unique show. Yeah. Do you mind telling people like a little bit about what the story is in case they haven't seen it?
Yeah. It's this year's Tony Award winning Best Musical. It also got Best Book and Best Score by David Lindsay-Abaire and Janine Tesori. And the story centers on this girl, Kimberly, who is a teenager with a very rare fictional aging disease. And essentially the only symptom of the disease is you just age really fast. And so it's played by now 2-time Tony winning Victoria Clark. She won this year for leading actress. And she's a genius. And,
she's phenomenal.
She's in her 60s playing a girl turning 16. And so with this fictional disease, your life expectancy is 16. So this sounds such like a downer, but it's a really funny show. And it's actually super uplifting. But it's kind of about the adults in her life who are sort of imploding in their own way and her just trying to be a regular teen girl with her own hopes and dreams.
Who happens to also like look 60 and is like aging and has a hard time sitting in beanbags and getting up off the floor.
Yeah.
The physicality that she does in the show is so incredible because she's got this amazing ability to harness like teen energy and also the very real.
Yeah,
as you get older.
She's a very young spirit and life and in person. Like she has so much life in her. And what's funny is they kind of like almost had to convince her to do the show because she does a lot of TV film also. And so she had kind of said she was transitioning out of like musical theater, but in directing on the stage, but still performing, the other way. And she was at some meeting and Janine Tesori was sitting across from her. And she said she just had this like mischievousness in her eyes. And she was like, that's Kim. And they were like, okay, she's our Kim, I think. And she was like, I don't know. I can't do that. Well, I can't really sing that. Like, come on in the office and just sing it. And so anyway, that's how we got her.
Well, I have a question because Hollywood break a little bit for guys at home. You know, you've heard me talk about TV shows and movies and things that I've done, but Broadway works a little bit differently in terms of a lot of musicals. By the time they get to Broadway, they've been workshopped so much, like for years. Sometimes they've been put up at smaller theaters around the country. They've been changed. And a lot of times people stay with the characters that they originate in the workshops, and sometimes they don't. But tell us a little bit what the process because I know Kimberly Akimbo is based on the play of the same name, right?
So David Lindsay Abaire wrote the play at this point over 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like the 90s?
Yeah. No. It was the early 2000s.
Yeah.
I think it was maybe 2000. I'm going to say it wrong, so I don't know.
Sure. Whatever. 20 years ago.
Doesn't matter. It was then. And so he and Janine wrote Shrek the musical together.
Oh, wow.
And they were paired. And so they loved working together. And they were like, I would love to write a project with you that we don't have so many voices early on in the process, like producers kind of guiding. Because
like an original idea, not based
Shrek
on.
was already an entity.
Yeah,
so
right.
She said, I think your play, she like pulled it off the shelf and she's like, I think this sings. And he was like, what? That was like over 20 years ago. She's like, no, I think this is it. And they were like, okay, so if we can work on this, like I work on a play, which is nobody sees it till I'm ready for them to see it, why not? And so they started working on it. And I know the last workshop they did of it was in 2019. Okay. And the only person from our cast who was a part of that was Ali Mozzie, who plays my sister. And I think they had done one other kind of
Who, by the way, I don't think I saw, by the way.
Oh, maybe? When did you see it? Like a couple weeks ago?
No, like
2 weeks ago?
No, I saw it like right before when you were supposed to be on the podcast the first time, and then I had to cancel. Like, this was a long time ago. It was like June or July. June?
I bet if it was the end of July, that was her vacation week.
Yeah, I think. But the woman I saw was fantastic.
Yeah, Betsy Morgan. She's amazing.
Oh, it was Betsy. It was Betsy Morgan.
Yeah. I bet you saw it on Allie's vacation week.
That's so funny.
So then it was supposed to come to the Atlantic Theater off Broadway in the summer of 2020. But I think we all know how that turned out.
Yes. And were you cast in it?
I had not been yet. So they were reaching out to cast that production in like March of 2020. And I was home in Ohio because my dad died of pancreatic cancer in March of 2020. So I had been home, with him in his final days. And so I had been at my mom and my stepdad's when it was sort of like Broadway had shut down, like March 15th or somewhere around there. And it was like I had concerts that were all being canceled. And I thought, well, I mean, let me just stay here for a couple weeks, which turned into 11 months. But in your 30s, that's exciting. Right. And so I got the audition, I think like days after my dad died. And it was like, well, no, I can't do that.
No.
Yeah. And they're like, if we can get an extension, like, can you do it in a couple of weeks? And I was like, I'm sure. And it was one of those where grief sort of clouds your brain and it's really hard to memorize. And I just, self-tapes, you want to be off book and memorize, like not staring at a piece of paper. And I had to learn the first scene I do in a library, which is a lot of talking. And so to me, that says she's probably talking kind of fast because nobody has a word in. And so I'm like, I really need to be off book for that. And I had to learn the first song. And so I was just like, I had my agent call me and I said, I can't do this, but I think if I made a tape right now, it would be more detrimental than if I didn't make one at all. And you just let them know, like, not doing great right now, but I will be eventually, but like now's not the time. And I would love to work with these people and I would love to work on this process. I'd only read the play but I knew that was really special and fun. And so anyway, they gave me another extension. And so I think I got it in the first week of May, the self-tape. And I got a call the next day. I was like, you got it. And it was like, I hadn't even met them or like had a call or anything. And so it was one of those, like, we'll see when it happens. And it kept getting pushed back because it was supposed to be that summer. And then it was going to be the fall. And then it was going to be the following spring. And then when they finally said it's going to happen in the fall of 21, I was like, oh, I do have a job. Like, it was so crazy.
It sounds like it was just your role, like no matter what.
And that's something I said. I was like, I feel like if this is meant for me, they won't find someone else and it will be mine. And a part of me feels like I'm meant to do this show. And if not, okay, I'll have to do something else. But I was just like in such like a broken place, you know, where you just can't like get the chutzpah to push through. And the world was like shut down. So it was just
right. I was going to say also, it's a little bit like, I don't know. I feel like in that moment, you're like, I mean, what am I going to force myself to do a thing that like I'm not emotionally ready to do?
Yeah.
To what end? Like there's, you know, like when are we doing this?
Like, you have like the little, you know, devil and angel on your shoulder and the one's being like, but that's not going to be, theater's not coming back in the summer. Like, what are you doing this for? So no part of me was like, great, we'll just push through and memorize. It was like, no, we're not doing that.
Right. Yeah. But then once you got the role, I mean, the story carries a lot of grief. So what was that like? Because you must have still been grieving as you stepped into the role.
It was, I have so much more hindsight, like, not hindsight, but like perspective now, like in the future that I realized how much grief I was going through.
Yeah.
The team was so gentle and kind with me, which is really good. But I would find things now in perspective. I can be like, oh, that was Bonnie trying to cling to her father and not Deb trying to cling to Kim. Deb's my character's name. I play her aunt. I have a really fun part. Like I'm a con artist who comes in and I'm trying to like bring her in on a deal because something like really intense happened and I got to get out of town. So her stakes are high. And one thing early on that I wanted to pull out and play with, and what's great about a new work is you're in the room with the writer. So I said, I see love here, right? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, but she's an incredibly selfish person who's going to choose herself at the end of the day. Like, it's never going to be, I love you too much, I'll give my life for you. Like, that's not where Deb's at. But like, I think in the process, it would be so fascinating to meet this woman who her favorite person in the world is this girl who's at the end of her life. Mm-hmm. And can she like put all that away and like really give to this girl? And it's like, you know, that's the conflict. And so in diving into that, I think I wasn't really aware of all the other. I remember one day there's a hospital scene and it had just been a chair and a bench that Vicky was sitting on, you know, and then we stopped to talk about it and it hit me what we were doing and where we were. And it was like, oh, and it was like probably the third week of rehearsal. And they were saying something like, oh no, she has like a burst of energy, you know, like sometimes. And I was like, oh, and I think all they said was, oh. And I just remembered my dad really being like, okay, I'm going to do physical therapy. I've got this. And having so much like, I'm not going into hospice. I got this. And it was a week later, he was gone. Yeah. And so as soon as I said that, I went, I think I might have just drawn a breath. And Vicky kind of looked across and everybody knew, you know, and she was like, oh, did it trigger you? And I was like, and so they keep talking and I had to turn and Allie was there and she's like, do you need Kleenex? And I just start sobbing. And so the director came over very kindly. She's like, do you need a minute? I was like, yeah. So I had to go to the bathroom and like cry for 5 minutes. And then there was something else we were, you know, and I came back in the room and we're still in the room. They've moved on. It was handled really well. And it was like, okay, I know what this is to spend all your time in a hospital and you don't want to talk about what's happening in the middle of the room because we all know when you crack jokes and you do this. And there is laughter and grief and loss, and that is life. And so that's what's really beautiful about the show, is it does tackle all of that. And we would like do something, and I remember I was losing my mind because I didn't get to say goodbye to her like the other characters got, and I didn't even connect. That's Bonnie feeling like she didn't get enough of a goodbye with her dad. But it was every part of me was grieving through that process.
Grieving and grieving, probably.
Grieving it and grieving it. Yeah. So, that was all very alive. And, you know, I feel like grief is a journey and a process, and it doesn't really end. And so there'll still be some shows. There was the other day, I don't like to look out into the audience, but out of my periphery, you can see folks. And there was somebody on the front row who he had the shape of my father. And he was way too young. It's not like, oh my God, that looks like my dad, but because it's periphery. And he had this big, big laugh. I had to, as soon as I left the stage, I started sobbing because I was like, whoa. But then, so it's always there. But there's something beautiful about getting to do the show and getting to be a part of this character, the girl, my niece's journey of having a great adventure before she goes.
Wow.
It's weird, Bonnie. I have to say, I'm just going to Casey, I'm just going to tell her.
Sure.
Casey lost her mom in December.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And very unexpectedly. And my best friend of 30 years died 2 weeks ago of cancer. And this is our first podcast back. And I didn't know this about your dad and about your process of moving through your grief. Yeah. But what's interesting is that I've been thinking a lot about the art, what it is that we put into the world, right? And Casey and I have our own version of a thing that we're putting into the world. And I hope the connection of that has helped her. I can't speak for you, Casey, in moving through the last 8 months.
It 100% has, because, what I was thinking, Bonnie, as you were talking about, this one particular show where the shape of a person reminded you of your dad. That's what's so beautiful about live theater. That's what's so wonderful about it, is that wonderful, and I guess in that moment difficult for you, but also I hope ultimately reassuring and healing, is that it is different every time you step onto that stage. What those people that are there that day are going to see is different from even though it's the same show day in, day out, and it's your job, what everybody gets to enjoy should they go to the theater to see you in Kimberly Akimbo, which they should. Everybody gets a different thing. Everybody gets a different performance. And that day, that performance must have been something to perform and to see. You know what I mean? And I'm thinking about that man, not even realizing that he was affecting you in that way. And maybe even I hope even a little bit of a gift. You know what I mean?
It was. I mean, of course I burst into tears, and then I just was like, oh, he's here today.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I know. And I do think the show is so, I do love the hope of the show at the end. I was sobbing in the hospital scene as well.
Yeah.
There have been a lot of hospitals in the last short time, actually, for my friend. But I was I was so mad. I was is this fucking it? For a second in the musical, I was literally if this is it, I swear to God, I am so angry about this. But thankfully, I do feel yes, there's the reality that, by the way, we're all confronted with. Our time here is finite. And some of us get more than others. And that is just, and some of us know, and some of us don't know.
Yeah.
And so I do think that message of the show and like the way that you leave the show is that feeling of like, so you get this time. So what are we going to do?
Yeah. The last lyrics of the show are, and sometimes I can't sing it. I have to lip sync, but, you never know, and nor do I, when we will have to say goodbye. So just enjoy the time because no one gets a second time around. And it's just like, yeah, we don't know. We don't know how long we have. So just be present, be here, love who you love and love on them, and say the words you have to say and take some risks. And I think I sometimes will tell people, I'm like, she doesn't die in the show on stage. You don't see it. We don't know. So don't worry.
I do feel like I wish someone would have told me that.
I know. Well, I had friends, and I didn't learn this till friends saw it off Broadway, and they're like, I was so stressed out that she was going to die in front of me. I was like, oh, no. Okay. I'll start to tell people that won't happen.
Yeah.
It's not that.
I was grateful that she did not.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I know not everybody can get to New York City to go see this show on Broadway, and hopefully you'll see it when it's touring, and it'll come closer to your hometown. But in the meantime, I hope like everybody goes online and watches some performances that you've done on various things, because it
get
is
that
so
original
joyful.
Cast recording. You are but you're just like, I mean, well deserved all of the awards. Let me just say, but you're so fucking dynamic when you come on. It's like a bolt of lightning, and your character is just a real delight. Like
she's very fun. It's fun to play with an audience in that first scene too. I mean, she comes out and right away it's like, what is happening?
Yeah. It's like the whole energy of the whole thing shifts because, and you've kind of been waiting for her too.
Yeah. Because I come in like 30 minutes into the show.
But you've heard about her.
Okay. So everybody check out Kimberly Akimbo. I want to see it next time I get to New York City.
Which should be soon. Yeah.
Hopefully soon. But also, you can't talk about it, but I can talk about it. And you don't have to say anything about it. You can just nod. But all of you at home might be also familiar with Bonnie from a little show called And Just Like That. She has a part in that program, that very popular program that is sweeping the nation. You can't really say anything about it because of the ongoing strike, but she's literally not even making a sound, but she's nodding and nodding. It's making me laugh so hard. But I do want to say that also that role, if you're familiar, she plays Charlotte's boss in the gallery. And but it also kind of goes along with like you're really into like the body positivity movement. So if anyone's familiar with that episode of And Just Like That, it's about like Charlotte accepting the way that she looks, and like Bonnie's character is kind of the inspiration for it. It's great. Bonnie can't say shit about it, but I'm telling you that I recently watched it and it was great. And I loved your character. And she shrugged. Like, I'm just going to narrate.
You're so good. I literally was doing like a live interview the other day, which is like a whole other conversation we should have at some point. But I was doing like a live on like the people were on whatever. I was not prepared. I didn't understand what was happening. Grief. Remember how you were talking about grief? We'll look back at this time and I'll be like, yeah, what was that? Anyway, very cloudy. But the woman brought up a thing that I have that should be coming out someday. Yeah. I don't fucking know when. And I was just like, yeah, I can't talk about that. What? There's a, like, I was so like, and it was just live on whatever the thing was, entertainment, some show.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be talking about Baby Bell cheese. And I'm like, I can't, I have no makeup. I literally look like this.
Oh my gosh.
Listen,
it's
fine.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank God for theater. That's like,
I know.
Yeah.
Really keeping us going right now. I mean, we talk about pivots all the time on the podcast. That's mainly what we usually ask our guests about. I feel like you have shared like a huge pivot, stepping into this show like so closely on the heels of losing your dad. Just even trying to get through, I can't even imagine it as someone who's gone through that recently. I can't even imagine having to work with material that was so close to like how I was feeling. To be honest, this is real. The episode of Succession where the dad dies, I almost passed out watching it.
I had to pause it halfway through.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can't even imagine like doing anything grief-based for my work, like any type of. So that's a big pivot. So we've already discussed the pivot, but like, what are your hopes for like you're still working in this Broadway show? Are you still gonna try to do? Yeah, you're gonna take a breath.
No.
You're never
Said
gonna
no
take
actor
a breath.
ever.
What are you just hoping for? Like, are you hoping to mostly continue theater? Are you like anxiously awaiting the strike to be over to do everything? What's your dreams?
Life dream is to just work, frankly.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, well, I have to be famous or I have to do it. It was just like, honey,
you're already famous.
Too late.
I most admire the theater actresses I know that, then will do the shows they like and then pop up on TV shows and movies and all of that they get to like work in all the mediums. I do like working on television sets, and that's really fun. I'd like to do more of that. And then if the project is right, absolutely theater. Theater's Broadway musicals are really hard because you sort of live like a nun in order to be able to do what I have to do 8 times a week. And so it just requires a lot of sacrifice. And for the right project, it's so worth it and wonderful. But it does take a lot of you. And hopefully, I know I bring a lot of myself to the work. And so, that sometimes comes at a little bit of a cost. And I know long days on set are also hard in a different way. But yeah, to me, like, world's my oyster. Let's do it all. I would also love to keep being a face and a figure in the world of, we get to see fat people more than as just a side joke and more than just a gag or just one-dimensional side characters. Oh, thank God I got a line,
Totally.
Striving for complexity and heart and soul. And you get to see someone being a fully formed human with an arc. That's all I want to do.
I love that. I was reading an interview where you said your agent was like super supportive of like what your mission was as a performer, and would say like when they would read something and it had like a fat joke in it or whatever, your agent would say, we're better than this.
Yeah.
And we don't have to do this. And I love that. I love that because I know like the pressure of an agent is to like, they want you working and
and they want money.
Exactly. And they want to get you out there and take what work there is. And I love that your agent was supportive of the idea of waiting for the right thing.
And sometimes that's hard because sometimes you got to pay your bills, you know?
Yeah.
And I thought the world was going to fully shift and change with the last show I did called Head Over Heels, which was all the music of the Go-Go's.
Yes.
And I got to play like the most beautiful girl in this like kingdom. And believe you me, every single review and press talked about how, oh my God, the fat girl is playing the pretty girl. But the script had nothing to say about my weight or my size. And I was just like, okay, got it. Like, I think the New York Times said I was provocatively cast as the
oh my
girl.
God, of course. Right. Of course. Because it's like, so like, whatever.
But I'm pretty. So can I be pretty? So it's And so
there's nothing provocative about casting someone who's like extraordinarily talented and fucking gorgeous and can play a part. I'm sorry. That is just such bullshit. I hate it.
Yeah. And he had like nothing real to say about my performance, except that I think he also says something like lumbered around the stage. I don't know. It was very
my God. Right. Because Bonnie, like if he doesn't want to fuck you, obviously you're unfuckable.
Obviously.
Right. This is like, I'm sorry. I'm just going to be enraged for a minute. But like, this is the whole thing about like men running everything in this world. It's like for so long, especially in Hollywood, like the standard literally was, would I fuck her? And if the answer is no, then she's not getting the part. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like, I know I've had conversations.
Yes.
I know conversations that have been had about me in which I've been called either fuckable or unfuckable, depending. And it's like, I mean, Jesus Christ.
And I want to be like, I'm unfuckable to you because I wouldn't fuck you.
I would never fuck you.
Yeah.
That's what makes me unfuckable. By the way, you don't lumber. You're impossible not to watch. I mean, like, whatever.
God.
If you wanted to lumber, great. You know, if that's what you wanted to do, if that's what you were doing, great. But you don't. That's the thing that, like, it just, it makes me mad. Like, I realize reviews are, like, a thing and whatever. Like, they're helpful, I guess, in some way. But also, like, you just get to fucking say anything. You just get to say your asshole opinion.
Yeah,
and,
like, who are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some are just like, do you think you're on a reality show? Like, why are you trying to sound as horrible and funny and sound bitey as possible?
Yeah.
It's like,
because it's like all clickbait at this point, right? Like they're just trying to get.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's got to be like a reality show, or people are like bored, I guess. But I don't know, man.
And like, art is just subjective. If you don't care for something, you can also say, I didn't care for this. Who might like this? You know what I mean? Like, you can be objective about things and say what worked and what didn't work. I don't think I've ever seen, even like some of the worst shows I've ever seen, there wasn't one positive thing. There wasn't one, like, even if you're like, these actors are really great and underutilized because the text has done, talk about it like that.
Right. That's a good review. I'm going to look up that review, and I'm going to look up the reviewer, and I'm going to find video of him walking, and I'm going to post a review of what I think of his walk. How it appeals to me.
I'm just going to say whether or not I want to fuck him. And I already can tell you the answer.
You don't.
You already know it's no.
I already know the answer is no. But I do want to just see. I want to look and say, for real, no. It's not happening.
Oh my gosh. It's so wild to me. It's like, Busy and I talk about, like, I was the showrunner for Busy's late night show. And like, it's long over, you know what I mean? And I'm still talking about it. So it's not over for me, which is like sad or maybe normal or whatever. But I just go back to this one like dude who reviewed the show and said it was baffling to him. And I was
loved
like,
it was our favorite review.
It's baffling to you
because it's not for you.
Wasn't for you.
Wasn't not for you. Guess what? Not for you.
It wasn't in your language, sir.
I think we've seen that though, especially in regards to entertainment reviews in the last several years. I think that the spotlight has sort of turned on the fact that the majority are cis, white, hetero men in their, I mean, ranging in age, I guess, but like a lot of times they're like,
the world.
You froze.
Froze you again. Froze you again. Froze you again is not what I meant to say, Casey. Froze you again. That's like sums everything up for me right now.
Your brains aren't working all the way.
Froze you again.
I just got a thing that said, your network is unstable. Yeah, I got it.
Thanks for that. Are you at your dressing room right now? Are you in your dressing room right now?
No, I'm in my apartment.
In your apartment.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't know. Like, when people do Broadway, do you just live there?
Practically, right?
Kinda. Yeah, kinda.
Like, I feel like I would just hang out there all the time.
I kind of do. Yeah.
I remember one time, I mean, I don't think he'll care that I'll say this, but like Lin-Manuel Miranda asked if anyone had an apartment with a bathtub near the theater where he was doing Hamilton, because he had to like take a bath for something. And I was like, that's how little he gets to leave the theater.
I think
he was like trying to see if a friend has a bathtub he can borrow for a minute.
I get that.
You would let him. You'd let him take a bath in your house, wouldn't you?
I don't think I'm not close enough to the theater district. I think you really got to go Hell's Kitchen. Who's in? Yeah. Like who's close?
Oh my gosh.
In between shows.
Also, just like for a full bath, not like a shower, but like I do need a bath.
I like a soak. Although I like a soak. I think a muscle soak is good, guys.
I was trying to think like had he injured himself or something. That was probably maybe. Perhaps. I don't know. I think your body hurt. Does your body hurt sometimes when you're I mean, you're doing the most.
Yes. Yeah.
You're holding a lot of tension. You're holding a lot, even if you're not like dancing outright. Although you do dance.
I do.
A little bit in the show, right?
Oh, I mean, not really, but like a little bit in my first number with the kids, but not really. Yeah. I definitely have danced more in my life. But my part is really physical because I kind of have all the physical comedy with the props in the show. So
and you have the huge prop, which I'm sure isn't.
Mailbox at one point.
Yes,
I crawl through a window. And in both of those, I definitely am in physical therapy for my hip and my back now.
Oh no.
Yeah,
you need a bathtub near the theater.
I need a bathtub with some
Well, I have a nice bathtub, but I'm not close to the theater district. No. You're welcome to use it.
Oh my gosh. Well,
so funny.
This isn't the most professional thing I've ever done on this podcast, and I've done a lot of unprofessional things, but I happen to know that Busy's assistant, Kirsten, loves you.
Oh, yeah.
And so I just wanted to tell you that she loves you.
And she's seen the show like 7 times.
Kirsten, my new best friend.
She's a big fan of the show. But she truly was like vibrating when I was going to see the show because she was so excited for me to see it. It was like, she's your number 1 fan.
I love that. Mm-hmm. Well, tell Kirsten I say thanks.
I will. We will.
Of course, we will.
She doesn't listen to the podcast. Otherwise, she could hear it herself.
She's too busy.
Boundaries.
Don't think I haven't brought it up.
Are you trying to slip things into conversation to test her?
No, I just am like, I know you don't listen to the podcast. She's like, busy. I don't have time. I listen to other podcasts. I was like, I'm not interested. She listens to every fucking episode of The Deep Dive come on.
The Deep Dive is great. And also,
sure. And
I get it.
It's like my friends are doing that podcast. Like, listen to us. Come on.
Come on.
If you had a podcast, Bonnie, I guarantee you she'd be listening to it.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, maybe she'll listen to this
maybe
one because
this episode.
It's Bonnie.
Oh, guys. Yeah. Sorry, Kirsten.
Okay.
Well, now you know how I feel. Well, actually, you knew how I felt.
Bonnie, it's such a treat to talk to you. I can't wait for the strike to be over so that everybody can see, for a lot of reasons, but so that you can do more film and TV roles so everyone can see you. But like, what's the deal? Are you're continuing on in Kimberly Akimbo?
Yeah, I actually was curious about that. Like, I know that you have contracts when you're on Broadway. Do you have a possible end date? Are you in it to win it? Like, what's the story?
So you first sign up for a year, which is coming up in October. We've been running a while. So
oh my gosh.
Now they've asked me to stay for a certain amount of time, and I'm currently negotiating. We'll
see. Get all that fucking money. This is like the one time where a Broadway actor can be like, and please pay me all the money. Normally they're like, we don't have that. We're almost being shuttered. Here's your $500 a week. I'm like, in this case, you're like, we won you all the Tonys.
Yeah. So please.
And I would just love to have a little bit of a monetary compensation.
Just a smidge.
And maybe a lighter mailbox.
Massages a month. Who knows, right?
You know what I mean?
Yes,
bring in that masseuse.
Yes.
We'll see what happens.
Get a bathtub up in the theater.
I mean, honestly.
Well, Bonnie, it was such a delight to talk to you. I really so appreciated your openness and talking about how grief played such a part in you doing your part in the show. And you're just fantastic.
Thank you. You're fantastic. You both are. This was so lovely.
Thanks.
It was so nice to meet you. Everybody check out Bonnie everywhere. Get to New York City to see her before her contract ends in October, hopefully. But I'm just saying, we don't know. Just as we were talking,
literally don't know. I'm like, I don't know, actually.
So if you want to definitely see her, make sure you get tickets now. And you can also see her, Block Your Ears, Bonnie, on And Just Like That. And yeah, I can't wait to see what you do because you're so young still. You're still such a young person and you're going to be doing this for years. And I cannot wait to see what you do.
I know, me too. I'm excited.
Me too. Thanks.
Bonnie Milligan, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Have a great show.
Right. Have a good day. Yeah, have a great show.
All right. Bye, friends.
Bye.
Bye. Well, you know what song I gotta sing?
Yeah.
Honey love, my honey love. I do love it. I do love it. Honey love.
Honey Love deserves a song.
They do deserve a song. They really do.
Well, shapewear is kind of rough stuff for me anyway.
Can be.
I feel like.
Can be, yes.
Yeah, and I got this like Honey Love shapewear and it's so comfortable and just makes me feel so much more comfortable when I'm wearing it underneath something that I ordinarily wouldn't feel so comfortable in.
I love the shapewear. I also love the bra.
Yeah.
The bra is kind of incredible. And I feel like Honey Love is revolutionizing the game.
Yeah.
Because the bras are like, they have this like supportive bonding. That's what they call it. So it eliminates the need for underwire without sacrificing a lift, which, some of us need.
Right.
Plus, the fabric is really soft and it looks great under t-shirts, under tank tops, under dresses. And it's next level comfortable, which is legit my favorite because then, it's like you don't even remember that you're wearing it. There's no moment at the end of the day where you're like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Did I take this off? Like, it's literally like, I'm serious. You're like, oh, wait, I guess I'm still wearing this bra. Oh, okay. I guess I gotta take it off now.
They have that crossover bra that actually you're saying it looks good under t-shirts. It also looks good when you're just in your bra. It's like kind of hot and it has like the back smoothing so that there's no bulges back there. It's 10 out of 10.
We love them all. We love them all and we want you to love them all. So listen, for a limited time only, you can get Honey Love on sale. Get 20% off your entire order with our exclusive link, honeylove.com/best20. You can support our show and check out some amazing bras at honeylove.com/best20. Just treat yourself to the best shapewear on the market and save 20% off at honeylove.com/best20. Listen, we have loved so much about Thrive Cosmetics. But one of the biggest things that I think is often overlooked or we sort of skim over is they're bigger than beauty skincare products.
Which are equally good. They're stars. These products are stars.
The Bright Balance Hydrating Gel Cleanser, hello.
It smells so good.
It smells so good. It's so gentle. And it supports your skin's pH balance so perfectly. But it gets all the gunk off.
Yeah.
And it's just one step. And then there's the Super Serum, which is brightening with vitamins and plant extracts for healthier looking, glowy complexion. It's truly very effective. I like it a lot. I've been using it in the morning. They have the Defying Gravity eye lifting cream that has green tea and caffeine in it. And I love it.
Depuff. You know what? This is not a claim that Thrive makes about their eye cream, but I have been putting it on my husband too, just to do something nice for him at the end of his long day. So when I put it on myself, I put it on him. It made his eyelashes very curly.
What?
Yeah. He was like, I look like a beautiful, like, cartoon. Like his eyelashes are curled all the way up. I don't know if it happens for everyone. I'm trying to figure out if my eyelashes are any curlier, but yeah, that's the only thing that he's put on his eyes.
That is amazing. Okay, that's funny because that is definitely not a claim that they make. But listen, I love that he experienced that.
If it happens for you, bless. How lucky.
For me, I just feel like even though I've been crying a lot, my skin looked like plump and well rested.
Right.
I mean, I was just happy with that. Happy with that.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, I love these products. I really do. They have a good company. I don't know. And
it's also like just a really simple, I think sometimes companies, they put out so many products that it's a little confusing. You're not sure what you can get. This is just a really easy way to simplify or to start a skin regimen, and you'll get real results without irritating your skin. Everything is vegan. It comes in environmentally respectful packaging that reduces waste. And for every product purchased, Bigger Than Beauty Skincare donates to help communities thrive, which is a huge reason why we love the company.
And also, I love the company because, like, honestly, the products are amazing.
Right?
I'm serious.
Yeah.
Guys, simplify your routine, amplify your impact with the brand new skincare line that's Bigger Than Beauty from Thrive Cosmetics. Get 20% off your first order at thrivecosmetics.com/busy. That's Thrive, CAUSEMETICS.com/busy for 20% off your first order. Again, that's Thrive, CAUSEMetics.com/busy for 20% off your first order. Okay, one thing that I didn't like, I had to I did reschedule my interviews, which, by the way, I have to say, I've worked with 2 brands recently. I genuinely love both of them.
Yeah.
And they were so great. And delightful to work with and great teams to work with. The fact that there was like a live on camera interview for the Baby Bell thing, when I'm like, no joke, had to reschedule the interviews, but like they had to be done in a certain amount of time. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So but like literally greasy, no makeup, like hair up, like outfit was non-existent. I don't even know if I was wearing pants. Like it was like the whole thing was like so insane. And my publicist was like texting me on the side saying like, I'm so sorry. This was a mistake. Like, we should have known it was on camera. We would have obviously told you. There was some miscommunication between teams and whatever. I don't fucking know. It's not my job. I don't.
Right.
Yes, there was some miscommunication between teams. Like it wasn't, definitely was not my fault. Like I didn't miss an email. You know what I mean? It could have been. You've worked with me for long enough. It could have been my fault.
I'm going to say email's not your favorite.
It's not, but also like I do, that would be, then it would be Kirsten's fault because that would be like, somebody missed the message.
Right.
But the truth was it was like just one of those things that was just like a total, And she was like, we can just ask them right now really nicely to reschedule and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you know what? I don't think it's going to get any better this week. So let's just do it.
Let's just do it.
I just want to talk about this cheese.
Well, when you think about it, like that's cheese for when you are casual and when you need cheese. It's like good support cheese, you know?
You know what? I do love it. I do fucking love that cheese. I'm not going to lie. I love it. I do love it. Emily was like, you're in the pocket of big dairy. I was like, cool it, Emily.
Well, they have plant-based cheese too, because I know because I had some Baby Bell plant-based cheese at Emily's house.
That I had them send her.
Yeah. So there we go.
That's right.
We go.
There we go. Yeah, you guys, and I want to take a second to say, and Casey, I know that you had a similar experience. Like, you guys, the people who listen to this podcast, like the people who follow me on Instagram, and not because they secretly hate me and are punishing themselves for whatever reason that I don't understand, because I don't follow anyone. The amount of love that you guys have like poured out toward me and Casey this year, specific to our losses, but like it is really so overwhelmingly wonderful and kind. And you guys are the nicest people. And I hope that someone is giving you that love. I really hope that you're getting that. And if you don't feel it from anyone currently, just know that we are giving it back to you. Because I truly am sending it to you, every single one of you bitches out there that's like sent me DMs. And even if I haven't, like, I scroll through, I don't look at all of them all the time. But Casey and I are here for you. And like, we are sending you so much love. I'm just speaking for you now, but whatever. I don't care.
You can.
I feel like I can in this instance.
Yeah.
Because it's been really overwhelming, the amount of love that I have felt from people that have never met me.
Yeah.
And never met my friend, and really mourned the loss of her beautiful light in this world along with me. And I just thank you so much for that. I just thank you. It's just meant so much to me.
Yeah.
Just wait till I write this fucking movie.
You're probably going to do it in like 3 days, like Sylvester Stallone and Rocky.
Yeah. I want to direct it.
That would be so great.
It would be so great. It'd be so fun. Beautiful
Should we talk about what we're doing our best at?
Hold on. I'm sorry. Before we get into this.
Okay.
Inquiring minds want to know. The fuck is going on with the bathroom?
Oh,
I saw Matt posted like him holding up. What is happening over there, Casey? Where are the Property Brothers?
Oh my gosh, how I wish for the Property Brothers. No, it's just that the whole thing with like the trucking company shutting down and it holding our wall panels hostage.
I literally can't. I can't even. The whole thing is so beyond bonkers.
We had to reorder those panels, and then there was like a delay with those, a shipping delay. So they just finally got here, and now it's just a matter of like getting the time to do things. And like, it's hard, right? Because Matt works 5 days a week. He works like 50 hours a week plus like his commuting, whatever. And some of that hours are really early in the morning. Some are really late at night. And so he has 2 days a week in which to like live a life of a man, you know? And so like, he's been spending every weekend that he can sort of doing, but also like, you know, he's been working on this fucking bathroom like weekend to weekend when the parts or whatever the fuck come in. And then But like Emily Beebe wanted to have a dinner the other night, a celebration of tomatoes.
Oh yeah, she does her yearly celebration of tomatoes.
Yeah, and so we wanted to go to that, and I wasn't going to be like, Matt, you have to stay home and work on the bathroom while I go have tomatoes with Emily Beebe. So obviously he was invited, and so he was trying to get some work done, and I volunteered, or Emily suggested, to make a tomato cocktail to complement the tomato meal.
I saw the post. Listen, I'm keeping up via posting. That is about the extent that I can do right now.
But so Matt was like literally physically holding up these like walls that he had glued into this little shower stall. And I was in the kitchen making tomato cocktails. And I made 3 because I always do too much.
You do too much. You do too much. We overshoot. You and me, we have the same issue.
But here's my feeling. Like Emily wanted like a tomato margarita, and that was quite sweet. And then she had also expressed interest. She didn't ask me to make 2 cocktails. She had also expressed interest in this tomato watermelon drink that she sent me a recipe for.
That sounds good.
It was good. And that was like medium sweet. But then I thought about it and I was like, Emily is vegan and she probably barely ever has a Bloody Mary because the Worcestershire sauce isn't vegan.
Boom.
So I was like, I'm going to make that too. And then that's like a savory drink. So it was too much cocktails, but the upshot is that I was getting Matt like basically hammered because I kept bringing him in cocktails and like literally feeding them to him because he was like had to hold up these wall panels.
Okay, so what's left to do? What's left to do?
What's left to do is that we have to have a plumber come back to reattach the drain, and then we have to like install the glass shower door.
Sure.
And then just a couple of things, a couple of like finishing things. But the thing is like Matt's back on his work week, so that won't happen until the weekend.
But the plumber can come.
The plumber can come. The plumber, he doesn't listen to this podcast. If Kirsten doesn't listen to this podcast, our plumber Circus doesn't listen to the podcast. He stresses me out a little bit because he always is like, saying that something's not a big deal and that something's done, and then he leaves, and then like it's not done, and then we have to like call him back, and then he sends like some other like a teenager or whatever like, and I'm like, what? This teenager doesn't know what's happening, and like there's a lot of like Google Translate sometimes, which I'm like, oh my god, I hope
it is like it is so fucking hard to get shit done.
It really is. And it's like, I'm happy for any contractor that they're so busy that they have like a lot of places to go around to or whatever. But it's also really hard to tell a hardworking person, like a laborer, like it's hard to just communicate with your eyes. Like it's been a couple months now that I've been sharing a bathroom with my sons. And I just am ready. Like, I'm ready for it to be over.
Honey, I think I speak for everyone. We're all ready. We're ready.
Thank goodness Eli was gone for a good portion of that. But Eli's great. He is very tidy. And if anything, he makes the bathroom cleaner sharing it. So that's Lincoln. I'm sorry to call you out. Lincoln is very much like typical, you know. Like there's some whiskers, there's some water being shook off onto the mirror, you know, stuff like that. But hopefully, like knock on wood, it'll be operable by this time next week. Hopefully.
Well, we all have our fingers crossed, my love.
Oh my gosh. I know.
Okay. So what are you doing your best at?
Well, I was going to say that it's been just a week now. I went on a girls' trip.
I know. I saw it. Looked great.
It was so fun and so needed. And I've never done anything like that. My friend Ashley Nicole Black, who we talk about all the time, she just sort of spontaneously was like, let's do a girls' trip. Like, and we can do it during the week. Because everybody's on strike, and we'll just so we headed up to San Bernardino County, and we rented all together like a really big group of girls, a house on the lake, And it was a beautiful view. And it was like the night before the full moon was like our last.
Looked amazing.
It was so pretty.
Yeah.
And your friend
jealous.
Michelle Monaghan was there.
I know,
and
I love her.
I hope she doesn't mind us telling her business. But
no, that was on Ashley's Instagram.
Yeah, it was on Instagram. Everybody knows. Akila, Chelsea, Devontes, they were all there. Annie and Joe, everybody was there. And it was just so great. And like, you know me, I think you know that I'm like a little weird about like staying in a space with other people. I do know that. Mm-hmm. Where I'm just very like, I don't know, I'm just like uncomfortable about it. And then also like, I'm not one to like get into a bathing suit or walk around in my pajamas or barefoot. I did all of those things. I know that sounds so stupid to be like proud of. Great. But it was like everybody was just so welcoming. And like legitimately from the second we got in there was one really nice, no, that's not true. There were two really nice bedrooms. One had a view of the lake. One had just all kinds of amenities, including like a really fantastic bathroom. Mm-hmm. And then the rest were just like regular rooms, you know? And everybody getting into the house, because when we were picking the house, I said, I'd really like to take a bath in that bathtub that was in that one. Everybody was like, unanimously was like, you should take that bedroom.
Also, karmically, let's just talk about karma for 1 second.
Yes.
You were owed some good bathroom karma.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, you were. Yes. Okay. The
universe really was like
came through
you, and here is this bathtub. Did you take a bath? Did you love it?
I did take a bath. It was nice. So nice. And like just even the women that I was just meeting for the first time, like I knew mostly everybody, but there were a couple of women that I've heard a lot about, but I was just meeting for the first time. It was like I knew them forever. We planned so many activities, and we literally didn't do any of the activities that we planned. None of the manicures that we planned, none of the crafts, none of the like taking water skiing lessons.
That's like my favorite thing.
We just like ate good food and had nice drinks, and we played a lot of games. And then we just talked, and it was so restorative. And so, I mean, I just love Ashley more than anything. And also my friends Chelsea and Akila and Michelle all of these women are incredible women, but it just made me want to proselytize about like going out on like a girls trip.
Here's what I want to say, because I think this is like coming up for obviously a reason. You know, Kate and Christine and I infamously went on that trip to Europe when we were teenagers.
Yes. Yeah.
And then in our lives, we took exactly one fucking girls trip together.
Yeah.
And look, kids, life, blah, 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 blah. And I know you're in a unique position now, Casey, because you have older kids.
Yeah.
And I remember like even at the time when we took our girls trip to Mexico, which by the way is still one of the best stories of all time, which is it's really not you. It's me. You know this story.
Repeat the story.
The story is that the girls, Christine, who I sometimes call Chrissy, and Kate were like, we got to do this girls trip. Kate was living on the East Coast. Christine and I were coming from the West Coast. I was like well aware that financially I was like in a different place than, by the way, at the time, both of them at the time. This was like pre-cricket. Birdie was like Birdie was very little.
Yeah.
And I left her with Mark for a few days, and that was stressing me out too. Like that whole thing was like very stressful for me. But I think she was under 3. So this is a long time ago.
Yeah.
But like, so I wanted to be aware that like financially we're not all in the same place. So I was like, you girls figure it out. And like, yes, I'm in, whatever. And so Christine they picked this place that was like one of those like all-inclusive joints in Puerto Vallarta.
Yeah.
And I was like a little bit like, guys, it is what it is, okay? I'm a fucking snob. And listen, Do not write to me. My best friend just died, okay? Don't write to me saying you're a fucking snob, all-inclusives are the best, blah, 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 blah. Sure. I'm sure they are.
Right.
It's not my, it's not my idea of a vacation, like when you go down to the pool and you're like fighting for pool seats and then there are just like thousands of children like smacking pool noodles in your ear. And anyway,
it's not for you.
It's not for her. Not at this point. Not now. Probably not ever, if I'm being honest. But anyway, so we show up and I was like, Kate was like, said to me, she was like, are you going to be okay? Your face is like, you really got to put on a different face right now.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know, it's going to be great. So we get like massages included. It was not great. It was not great. It was not and I'm like, this is my only vacation that I'm going to have without my child, maybe ever. By the way, right. I think truly I work away from my kids sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know if
vacation.
That's not a vacation. Traveling, but Mark always thought, bless. Mark, you're a great, enough. I can't qualify these things anymore. You know, I'm sure. And because also, by the way, he doesn't go anywhere. Like he doesn't even go anywhere for work.
So it's like when Matt told me, why don't I get some time to myself when the kids were little and go to the grocery store? And I was like,
sir? Excuse me?
And then he was like, as soon as I said it, I knew what I said.
But that's why, maybe is that why when I had small children, I turned my grocery store runs into like me making music videos in the aisles?
Probably.
Before TikTok even existed.
Literally your only time.
That was my time. It was time for me to just be myself. Okay, anyway. But I was like determined. I'm like, I'm not going to be a fucking asshole. I'm determined to I'm just going to suck it up, whatever.
Right.
But then, and the pool noodles smacking, I was like, oh my God. And then we had our like massages that were scheduled. And it was like, this is literally a scene from an Adam Sandler made for Netflix movie. But because they take Christine in and they whisk her away to like the beach cabana that had just opened up and like, she was going to do it there. And then me and Kate, they were like, so you have the couples massage. And we were like, okay, I guess so, whatever. And this like really nice woman takes us both back into this like bizarre couples room, like where clearly people fuck, you know, like, and the tables were like angled towards each other. It was just like the whole thing.
See each other? Oh, God.
Yeah, it was so strange. And Kate was just like honestly dying. And so the lady explained to us, like, you know, take your lay face down on the table. So then I was like, but is she massaging both of us at the same time? Like, what's happening? Because we hadn't seen anyone else yet. And so, the lady leaves. Kate's like, busy. I swear to God, you are. I don't know how much longer. Like you last here. Like you're killing me. And she was just laughing at me because I was, you know, being ridiculous.
Yeah.
We lay down. The lady comes back. I see her little feet shuffle past me because I know that it's her. And then I see these new little feet in front of me. It's like this person who doesn't say anything, but is sniffling and coughing.
Oh, no.
Like on the back of my head and on my back. And I was like, okay. First of all, pre-COVID, you know I'm a germaphobe.
Right.
Pre-COVID, I fly during cold and flu season with masks, like with,
oh my God,
like surgical masks.
Right.
This is the kind of person I am. I wipe down seats. I'm like, always have been this person. So all of a sudden, I have a masseuse with like literally the most calloused hands I've ever felt. And coughing and dripping like snot on me.
Oh my God.
And then Kate's POV is that I literally was like, I forgot I have a call. And I jumped off the table and like ran out of the room and got dressed in the little ante room or whatever and was running out. And they were like, ma'am, are you okay? I'm like, I'm good. I just forgot. I have a call. And I ran out of the resort. Ran out of the entire place. And was like, where am I going? Where am I going? And I saw that there was a Starbucks like across the highway. And I literally like ran to the Starbucks. And then I called Mark, who was back in LA, and I was like, I can't do this. I'm on Cougar Town at the time, by the way, guys. Like, I'm like, I can't do this. I got to get the fuck out of here. And he's like, well, there's a St. Regis. It's 40 minutes away, but they have rooms, it looks like. And I was like, book it on my fucking credit card. We're doing it. So I'm like, I'm just going to tell them I'm paying for this vacation. So I went back in. So we booked the thing. The St. Regis calls me. They're like, we can have an SUV come pick you guys up. We'll be there. We can be there. And we actually have somebody that's like close to town right now. We can be there in 25 minutes. I'm like, great. So I go back in. The girls were like, first of all, Christine has never been, oh wait, no, it was just Kate at first. So I was like, I see her. She's like, what the fuck happened? She couldn't stop laughing. And I was like, you know, I couldn't have that lady like snotting on me. She's like, no, it was busy. It was hilarious. So I was like, so listen, Kate, I love you. I love Christine. I can't stay here. And she's like, oh, okay. And she told me later that she thought I was telling her that I was leaving them.
That you were just leaving?
Yes. And I was like, it's not you, it's me. I can't be here right now. There's a St. Regis. I booked us rooms. Like a car's coming in 25 minutes. She's like, fuck yes. And so I was like, but like, I don't want, because Christine did all the heavy lifting of booking the place, whatever. And I was like, I don't want Christine to feel bad. Like, I feel like such an asshole. Like and Christine walks up and she's so relaxed. She's had the best massage of her life. And she's like, what's going on? And I was getting so nervous and I was so scared I was going to hurt her feelings. And I told her and she's like, yeah, let's get the fuck out of here. I ran upstairs and like busted in the room that the lady was cleaning. And we like threw all of our shit into our bags, ran. The lady must have thought I don't even know what she thought. We ran out of there.
Running from the law.
Truly. That's what it looked like. We ran out of there. The SUV pulls up. We get in, fly away. 40 minutes later, we were at the St. Regis for like literally the greatest 4 days of our lives.
Oh my gosh.
There's this picture that Kate and I had never seen that in June when Christine was out here and I had come back so that the three of us could like all hang out together.
Yeah.
We were like looking through all kinds of stuff and looking up our ex-boyfriends on Facebook and laughing hysterically and looking at people from high school. Christine showed us this picture and I was like, how have we never seen this? Kate had never seen it and I had never seen it. I guess it had been on Christine's. Technology was wily in those years.
Right.
Like 2010.
It was compartmentalized. Like I don't know where stuff on an old phone or whatever.
Yeah, it's like exactly. But it is this picture of the three of us that I now remember taking shortly after we arrived to the resort. And we are just arms up in the air, totally elated on this like gorgeous beach, just being gorgeous, 31-year-old moms on a fancy fucking vacation.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Cougar Town.
That is hilarious.
And yeah, like it was the greatest. Wait, I don't remember why I told this story.
Because I was saying like you should take the girls trip. You should take the girls trip. I never had like a group of girls like that,
But like I was saying to Christine and I had just had this conversation that every year after that was probably 2010.
Yeah.
Every year we were like, when are we going to go to Paris? When are we going to go to Mexico? When are we going to go wherever? And like, look, we've made space and time for one another. Like we were all in South Carolina a couple years ago when it was Mark's 50th birthday. Like we've tried, but I so fucking wish that we had done it more. So I love that you like had that and are now have that feeling because I want you guys to keep doing it for real.
Yes.
For real.
Yeah. It just, if Ashley had never suggested it and she organized everything, if she had never suggested it,
you need
wouldn't
a cruise
have thought
director.
of it. Yeah, exactly. But I just encourage everyone, like, if you have girls, make a girls trip. If you don't have girls, get some girls and then go on a girls trip. It's the kind of thing that I think I would have felt a little weird about. And I was like weirdly proud of myself that I did it. And
Can I be honest with you?
What?
When I saw that post, this is no joke. I was proud of you. I almost texted you and then I was like, that's going to be so weird and condescending. And she's going to be like, dude, what's wrong with you?
No, I never would think that.
But I really felt that.
But I was like, for me, like that's a thing where I'd be like, oh, I don't know. And like, I don't belong there and I'll be weird and whatever. And like, everybody was weird. So, it was just really great. And I was actually kind of inspired by my mother-in-law because she's lovely, she's amazing, but she's an anxious person too and like can be kind of shy. And she went on a girls' trip this year with her neighbors, a really extensive one. And so I was like, if Karen can do it, Casey can do it.
Do you know what's interesting? My parents are going soon to Chicago for my mother's yearly girls' trip with her fucking friends from high school.
I love that. I love that they do that.
They do it like almost every single year.
That's so great.
That's
so great.
It's so nice. Anyway, all I'm saying is that Christine and I had that epiphany. There are so many extenuating circumstances. And I do feel like we all have done the best we could in the last decade plus. These are the tough fucking years. I'm like 29 to 39 is fucking intense.
Right. And this is like maybe the time where you could just start thinking about having the freedom to do it.
Right. Yeah. That's what it feels like. I mean, So, although fucking Liz Kukowski, I got to tell you, that bitch is on a girls' trip like every other weekend. I'm like, what?
Is she good for her?
She knows in my next life, I want to just take all my lessons from her. She knows how to live life.
Yeah.
She's like, I went, I just had to go. And she has like different girls that she goes with.
Oh my gosh. Isn't that amazing when you just meet someone and you're like, that's your impression of them, that they know how to live life? Like it is impressive. It is impressive. And I think those are the people that get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we're only here for so long. What are you going to do with your time? Yeah,
live, you just got to live, laugh, love.
Exactly.
That's it. You just got to live, laugh, love.
It sounds dumb, but
guys, they put it on a piece of reclaimed plywood for a reason. Fashioned to look like reclaimed driftwood.
Oh my God.
For a reason.
Live, laugh, love.
It is the truth.
It is the truth.
And sometimes the truth is so basic.
And it's just like something you should do every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's why I guess we hang it in our kitchen on the reclaimed plywood. But listen, I mean, no shade. There's a lot of basic things that I forget to do every day, or like I have an epiphany about something like, I'm in a better mood if I don't stay up all night watching crime shows, and then like I realize that on a Monday and then I forget it by Wednesday. So maybe I need a live, laugh, love sign and I need a don't watch crime shows all night sign in my bedroom.
Do not. No.
Who knows?
I could get that on a pennant for you. Pendant?
Yeah, pennant. I like that. What are you doing your best at? I mean, I know like that it's relative, right?
Yeah. Listen, this month has been the month of August. What a scene she was.
Right? You want to, it's like you deserve a do-over, but who even wants to do it over,
no,
you know?
No. The month of August has been a real one for me.
You got here today.
That's really interesting, because what I was going to say is that I really think I did my best. At showing up. And I think that continues. Because even when I was in Sweden and I knew what was going on back here with my friend, and I was checking in daily, like, I knew that she was surrounded by love. I knew Chrissy was with her. And I was able to, like, enjoy moments of our trip in Sweden, and really, like, Birdie and I had some really great moments together and moving. And I was really, I felt really present in spite of what was happening and what I knew was happening. Like I felt very present in the whole experience of the school stuff with Birdie. And there's nothing like going to a Swedish IKEA in Sweden.
Is it very different than what we have here? It is,
when I tell you, exactly the fucking same. Like, so much so, like, everyone speaks English. Like, it is so exactly the same experience.
Wow.
Truly. I mean, I haven't been to an IKEA here in a long time. I used to love going to the one in
Burbank.
Los Angeles, Burbank.
Yeah.
Do they have live plants at that one, at IKEA now?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. They used to not, I don't think, in Burbank, but they definitely have a ton. There's a huge gardening sections or like plant section. So, but I think just, I've been trying to focus on showing up. And also, like, I think that a little bit means, like, for myself as well. And I think that you said a thing earlier that I think is so important, like giving yourself grace. And I do think I've been doing that. I do, actually, for the first time. Like, and I think I've been making choices that at times, like, maybe weren't the easiest, but were the best ones for me in that moment. Like, regardless of whether it's like I like canceled on a couple commitments I had because I was like, I'm just not in a place where I can do that right now.
Right.
But tomorrow night I'm going out to the Batsheva presentation, like fashion show thing with Jen. And then I'm going to a cookbook party, like for a launch of a cookbook.
For Danny Pelosi, right?
Not Danny Pelosi's. Although I have that later.
Oh,
no,
okay.
This is for Jake Cohen.
Oh,
he has that book, Jewish. Do you know that cookbook? It's so good.
Everybody has a cookbook coming out.
Well, he has that one, and now he has a new one.
If you want to see a beautiful Bathsheba dress, I think our friend Otsko wore one to Beyonce, so check on her Instagram.
Oh, I saw it. Yeah.
It's a very beautiful silver dress.
Remember, I have that in purple. I wore it on Busy Tonight.
Yes.
Jake Cohen's first cookbook was called Jewish.
Nice.
A cookbook, reinvented recipes from a modern mensch.
Oh, I love it.
And he's got a new book coming out. I don't know what where is it? He has a new one coming out. Whatever.
Well,
that's the one I'm going. I'm going to a party. Whatever. There's a party for that.
I also wanted to shout out, I'm going on Chelsea Devantez's podcast. I'm recording it later this week. And it's formerly called Celebrity Book Club, but now it's called Glamorous Trash, the podcast. But I read an advanced copy of Maria Bamford's new memoir,
oh God, is
comedian
it so
Maria
good?
Bamford, and it's so good.
So she talked
so
about
much
the time
so
when I was like so horrible and weird to her in that car that one time.
What? No, she didn't talk about that. What did you do to Maria Bamford?
It was just so awkward because I think she's such a huge, like, I'm like such a huge talent. And I essentially did the equivalent of like what people do to me all the time, which is like, I was like trying to ask her what happened to the show. But instead I just was like, what's going, like, why aren't you like, what's happening? Like, I literally was like,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
My compliment so turned into the worst moment of my life. And I will never forgive myself for it. I'm not kidding. It was terrible.
She didn't specifically mention that, but she did talk a lot about what was going on with her during the making of that show. And it's really interesting. Also, she has OCD, very, she's very, very honest about her OCD journey, which really, it was interesting to me. Cause whenever you go through these things, you think you're the only person in the world that has like this thing, or that has it like you have it. And so it's always interesting when someone is like, oh, here's what I was going through. And you're like, oh my gosh, I recognize that. If it makes you feel any better about the weirdness, I emailed her. I don't know her at all. And I emailed her just to say like how great I thought the book was and like how incredible and honest she was and how much I identified
what you did.
with.
That's so, okay. So what you did was nice.
I mean, it's a little weird to be like, I got to get in touch with Maria Bamford, but who knows? She will maybe never read the email, but it's a really good book. I encourage everyone to check it out when it comes out, especially if you're, struggling with any type of mental illness, or I think even neurodivergent people would see themselves in a lot of what she talks about. It's called Sure, I'll Join Your Cult. Wait, let me say what it's. I want to say the right title.
Let's get it right for the people at home. Lord knows they don't know how to Google. Casey, Jesus.
Well, here's what I hear about this all the time is that people are always like, it's okay. Maria Bamford's book is called Sure, I'll Join Your Cult. And I believe it's coming out soon. But here's what people always say. I always want to say the right name because people will then just message me and be like, sorry, I was driving when you said the name of that book. And can you tell me what it is? And I'm like, no.
And then you Google Maria Bamford new book.
But I just feel like if we at least say the right title, maybe it'll stick in someone's mind and they won't feel like they have to message me on Instagram to ask me to Google it for them. Because clearly I can't remember shit either.
Yeah, but, you just Googled it yourself. I mean, here's what, yes. Well,
no, I was just going to say that I'm just proud of you. I'm proud of you for like, to say you've gotten a lot done since we last did like a one-on-one podcast is a weird way to say it, but like there have been a lot of big life jobs that you have been through.
I've done so many life jobs.
Yeah. And really big ones. And, I always struggle with like, because we do this podcast together, but we're also friends, but we do other we try to do other businessy things together. I always worry that like I want to strike a balance between like I want to be there for you as a friend, but also give you space where you're not thinking about me and you can think about what you want to think about. Just because I think like, if I reach out to you, even if it's not about the podcast or something else,
other stuff,
just puts that in your mind, like, oh, we have to talk about this. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so I was just like, we talked over the past month sometimes, but there were also times when I was just like, I just want her to have like space and feel relaxed and feel like she doesn't have to like respond to anyone or whatever, and I know that's like partly my deal or whatever, but I was following very closely because I just wanted to make sure you were okay. I felt like I was like walking behind you on a bike,
Yes. Like the lady that followed me when I ran away from home when I was 2 years old. You know that.
Yes. Yeah.
The lady behind me with a bike.
Yeah. I just,
I know. I appreciate that. Yeah. It's been. Yeah.
It'll continue to be. Yeah.
With any luck.
Exactly. But everybody loves you so much, and
it's really nice.
Yeah. And I'm glad to be back. And next week we'll remember to press the buttons.
Listen, I'm shocked that everything was plugged in. I'm truly, actually impressed.
Oh my gosh.
But yes, we will press the buttons next week.
All right. Well, I love you.
I love you too. And we'll talk to all of you very soon, and have a great week, and we'll see you around.
Yeah. Talk to you soon. Love you. Bye.
Oh no.